Oh, I'm gonna get back to this. Oh, we even got it right there. Ah, Atlanta. Oh, it's been a long, whatever. Tired. I'm tired. Can't you tell I'm tired? Oh, earthquake. So I can touch one or the other. I'll just touch this one. Nope. I touched that one. I guess it don't matter. Sitting here talking to myself anyway. Let's see what is happening here. What's going on Kiwis Road? Let's see. I go back out. Oh, let's tap on his channel. Kiwis Road. I want to be notified every time he comes on. You know why? Because he's silly and needs to learn lessons. I need to learn lessons. Keep my mouth shut. Don't touch stuff that's not mine. I don't even know if this thing's even working. Your channel. Oh, it says live. That's how I'm on YouTube. Streaming. Oh, my Atlanta. The time and effort it takes me to type somebody I love. Oh, I am on YouTube, baby. There. Oh, and I'm here by myself. Oh wait. Oh, we got some fellow people up in here on this train ride. I know it's been a while. Learning lessons. Yeah, I need to learn lessons. Like I said, I need to learn to keep my mouth shut and learn not to touch stuff. No touchy. I am going to post this here link in case. What's that? That the wife telling me? Okay, I didn't mean to call you. Anyway, I thought you called me. I was trying to call Skylar. All good. Give her the thumbs up. The time and effort. I mean, see how this works. So there is a link that is pinned somewhere at the top for the Zoom. Come on in if you'd like to talk a little Forrest Fenn. I talk a little Forrest Fenn. A lot about what Forrest Fenn taught, or what you might have learned as far as time, love, and effort. And I'm just curious of like how other searchers, how other people out there are doing in this post, right? Post, what? Post chase apocalypse, so call it. Oh, people dropping out like flies already. That's how it rolls. It's okay. I talk to myself all the time. They're gonna miss out on stuff anyway. Like I have no idea. Like I don't know. I'm definitely gonna repost that link though for if you see me like swatting stuff because I'm swatting at mosquitoes. Like a ninja, you gotta catch him with your fist. Nope, he got away. That mosquito was like a ninja. But no, I'm just curious if anybody else wants to BS about nothing. But first things first, I would like to recognize that a fellow YouTuber, Why Must I Go, has lost his son in the past weekend. And if you don't mind, I will do a moment of silence for a few seconds. See, that's good timing. So, I mean, at the very least, it's interesting how quick somebody's life can change. Hey, Trusted, how you doing? Welcome aboard the train of digression on Minder's Madness. How you doing?
Hi, how you doing, Kiwi Road?
I am still alive, barely kicking, and still at it. I'm enjoying the weather over
Why are
here,
you
though.
barely kicking? Are you tired?
Oh, I'm exhausted, dude. I've been pulling bags out of that brown trailer where all the water damage is done, and so you're kind of moving a lot of small bags, but the small bags are heavy bags because they're all wet stuff. You know what I mean? Oh,
You
people,
look like a you look like a strong guy. Are you strong?
I'm about as strong as my will. My will is like as strong as my body is. It's not so much that I'm not strong or anything. It's so uh I had two surgeries on my L5S1, and the second
Uh-huh.
one was a fusion. And so the bending and
Uh-huh.
twisting and all that stuff doesn't help but aggravate the nerve damage that's already there. So that's what I mean by barely kicking. It's
Yeah.
looks can be deceiving. Looks can be very deceiving. It's like I'm healthy as a horse, but it's the nerve damage that's on the inside that's broken. You know what I mean? So that's what makes life
Yeah,
me is depressing.
I've had I've had bone spurs growing on my spine since 30 years ago. I didn't monitor it, so I have no idea if anything fused together or not. I just kept plugging along all these years. And this past year, I had a pretty good rest on my back because I had been retired. So I was gentle on my back. And when I started this project of working on the garden, I started taking ibuprofen, where I take three at a time and I do it up to 3 times a day. And I didn't have any issues. I was able to work and I didn't have any episodes. You know what an episode is, right? When you're laying in bed for an entire day or two or three because you can't get up.
Yeah, because you're broken.
Yeah. Well, the nerve gets pinched, and if nothing's done about it, it
You can't move
it's a
because
bad
it'll
deal.
hurt. No matter what
Oh,
you
big
do, it
time. Like
hurts.
being stabbed.
Yeah. It's like
So hopefully there won't be any episodes. I think I'm getting things strengthened where they need to be strengthened, and just hope for the best and keep plugging along.
yeah, try to stay away from surgery as long as possible.
Oh,
As
I'm not going to
long as
have
possible.
surgery. I decided that years ago. I'm not going to have surgery. The body grows bone spurs because the spine is out of alignment and it will fuse the sections of spine together that need fusing because of the unalignment. So if I have a fusion, it's just going to happen naturally.
Right.
So there's no sense in
A
going and
natural
having one
bone
done by
spur
a surgeon. Huh?
So a natural bone spur fusion.
That's what bone spurs are. They start on one piece of the spine, they start on another piece of the spine, they grow together and they fuse the spine together.
Mine sat there and went a different direction. It started going into the nerve core.
Oh,
Yeah, it went. I mean, to me, it's the equivalent of it has gone. You know, extension cords. How they have three wires inside, and then you have the sheath on the outside. That's your nervous system, basically. As I look
yeah,
at it as that bone spur had been there for 4 years, rubbing on that sheath that ended up getting through and damaging the nerve system itself. So I
yeah.
mean, it's like a you know uh 4 or 5 most of the time, but since I've been out here, it's been up to 6 and 7s. But that's why I brought my medicines and take them as prescribed, like 2 or 3 times a day now.
Yeah, yeah. I really wanted to not have surgery and not take medication. So I went to a chiropractor for many years. And a good chiropractor is like a miracle worker. It's amazing. It
Yeah,
really is. But the key word is good.
if they know what they're doing with your spinal system, you know what I mean?
You know something? They gotta have some really good confidence in what they're doing, because I noticed near the end of when I was using that particular chiropractor, and the only reason I stopped using them was because I didn't want it to be routine. I only wanted to go there when I absolutely positively needed the adjustment. Uh,
Yep.
but I don't know what happened. I never talked with him about it, but it seemed like he lost his confidence, because right up
Oh,
when I
really?
first started going, well, when I first started going with him, I mean, he could do an adjustment. I mean, he would start in one position and crack, crack, and move to another position, crack, crack, and do that a bunch of different times with a whole lot of confidence. And he didn't seem as confident near the end. I don't know if something had happened that hurt his confidence or what, but it wasn't the same. He didn't seem to have the confidence.
I wonder if something happened in between where he had a bad customer sit there and say something. You know what I mean?
Well, he
And then
he he could have had a situation, because hey, look at the regular medical establishment typically does not like people like chiropractors. And they certainly would be on the side of a patient that says, hey, we could sue this guy. Look at this. I got to do surgery. It's going to cost tens of thousands of dollars, and you're going to be messed up for life, and you're going to be on drugs for life, and this, that, and the other thing, whether it's true or not. The court system will listen to a surgeon over a chiropractor 99% of the time. So I think that might have been what happened, but I really have no idea. All I know is he didn't have the same level of confidence in the end as he did in the beginning.
huh, that's a shame, because I mean it's hard to find the good ones, the ones that actually feel and learn and know the body besides just making movements. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because basically with the spine, I don't know if it's a hormone. I think it's a hormone, but the chiropractors call it relaxin. But I think it's a hormone that gets enacted when they do the cracking. So the cracking loosens up the misalignment, and the relaxin acts like a medication. And it freaking works. I mean, I've
Yeah.
gone to a chiropractor all crippled up, where I walked out of there like there wasn't anything wrong with me for the last 2 weeks.
Well, one of the things that I learned is that, uh, around your spinal fluid, for your nervous system. I mean, when you start, like you said, to realign that, you're causing that flow of fluid to be adjusted properly so it actually flows instead of being pinched off. And so that flow actually, believe it goes around, if I'm not mistaken, around your sacrum, which is your S bone, your tailbone stuff. Then that fluid goes all the way up your spinal system, all the way up into your brain. It covers the outside of your brain, covers your pineal gland. Um, so I mean, when you're sitting, you, your spinal fluid has a lot of transfer. You know what I mean? And when it's being pinched off and stuff,
Well,
you're losing.
I don't think any of that gets pinched off with the misalignment in the spine. It's the nerves that go through that intersection, where between the joints themselves is like a pillow. I forget what that's actually called, to tell you the truth, but it's kind of like a pillow. So when there's a misalignment, the pillow is not absorbing the movement between the two joints. They're rubbing and they're pinching the nerve. And that's why they do alignments,
Oh, that
is to alleviate that and get it back, so that that pillow in the joint will go back to normal, whatever it's called. I don't remember.
yeah,
It's been
it's doing
20
this in
years.
between all of them.
Yes.
Right.
And believe it or not, even doctors that do spinal surgeries, a lot of them, they don't know as much as they pretend that they know about the spine.
Yeah, no, I don't know a lot about the spine. I just, I know I have, spinal injury or nerve damage, not spinal injury, but nerve damage from an onset um, bone spur for 4 years plus, and then 2 years of a bulging disc. The disc is what is
Yes, yes, that's
in
it. Bulging
between.
disc.
So the disc is what's in between, or the pillow. And so my L4 and L5 was slightly bulging, and my L5 and S1, L5 S1 was major bulging, pinching on the nerve again. So it was like they went in and fused it, and then it's still the same shit, different day.
So so it's bulging because it's out of alignment, and one side is being pinched down, and the other side that's looser, the pressure goes there and it bulges. So it's more a misalignment. And instead of waiting for nature to deal with it with bone spurs or fixing it through good chiropractic treatment, the surgeon fuses it
Yeah.
and gives medication. That's the way that I see it. But nonetheless, I have.
Well, that's
You
what
ever hear,
happened.
you ever hear of a sacroiliac?
No.
That's where the sacrum and the bottom joint, which I guess it's called a iliac, that's where they join together. And I have chronic disorder with that. It was damaged for such a long time that it will never be the same, ever.
Well, I mean, they call that your sacred bone in your body, and I think it has like something to do with like your the energies or whatever in your body's, the chakras or
Oh, yes,
natural body energies, all that.
yes,
It has something to do with
yes.
that.
It's
So I
called
mean, it's like
the
the
root
root, yeah,
chakra.
yeah, your sacrum, your ass, man. We're sitting on our ass, trying
Yeah,
to. So the title is Time, Love, Effort, and it's an open Zoom, and anybody's more than welcome to come in. Nobody's come in yet besides you. I'd love to have more people chit chat because I mean it is about the time. I mean it's a shame. It really truly is a shame. I mean Shelly just lost, her husband a couple weeks ago. This past weekend, why must I go? He lost his son. Um, it's people are anything can happen to anybody at any moment. When we sit there and say, "Hey, it'll happen to the other guy," we got to remember to everybody else, we are that other guy, that other person. And so I thought it was, um, I don't know, a good title for something that I think Forrest Fenn in The Thrill of the Chase strongly alluded to, in my opinion, is the time that we spend on either, our life, our projects, work, schooling, our kids, building a plane, tearing stuff down, doing trash, whatever it is, the the love. And it's strange because all these words have so many different meanings. And this morning I had a rough morning, and I was thinking about the word love and how it has different. There's the emotional feeling of love. There's the thought, the idea of what love could be, or what love is supposed to be. There's the love that you feel when you're around somebody, or even when you're talking to somebody, whether it be a stranger or a friend. I mean, you can feel that empathy and compassion. That's a form of love. You know what I mean? And and the effort. How much effort are we willing to put into the things that we love to do or we love to be around? And it boils down to how much time are we willing to sacrifice of ourselves for the love, of whatever, and put that much effort in it to protect it to the best of our ability, so that
yeah,
if something were to happen, we know that everybody at least was satisfied with their life and relationship with people. That you know, it would make peace. It would make gaining peace with family and relatives, I think, a lot easier. What are your thoughts? And don't forget, it's open Zoom, people.
yeah.
Come on in.
I think love is probably one of the most misunderstood words in the English language. Uh, I think most people do not know what love is. They haven't a clue. They think love is just happiness. Is that person
Right?
bringing me happiness? No. Love is caring. Love is, do you care about that person? Does that person care about you? And
Yeah.
can we identify if that person cares about us or not? Because we base our ideals on whether that person cares about us based on their actions. in
Yeah,
their
I was
words.
just about to say that. Their actions.
But we
Devotion is
may
another
not,
one. Good
we
one,
may
Carl.
not understand why people are doing what it is that they're doing if we're not communicating with them. Uh, because they might care very deeply, but they might also have a disagreement with the person in what they're doing. But they don't want to just abandon ship.
Hmm.
You know, people have this ideal that it's magic, that
Right?
falling in love is a magical thing. It's a fairy tale. If it's a little girl thinking about it, she thinks of herself being a fairy tale princess and being treated like a princess. And the man feels like he's the head of everything and he's going to be
The king
treated
of the
like he's the head of
castle.
everything. Yes. I mean, we got fed that kind of stuff. I certainly did at my age. They're
Yeah.
probably not doing that nowadays out in public because now it's going to a point that people don't even know the difference between a male and a female or masculine and feminine, that a male or a female can have both masculine and feminine traits. But even if a female has totally masculine type traits, will never make that female a male, ever. And vice versa. With the male having feminine traits, which is nothing wrong with that, that person will never, ever be a female. It's a biological situation. And the thing of it is, it's being used against the population where people that are put in charge of children that should not be put in charge of children are influencing them in a way that can destroy their lives.
Yeah. For a long time and generations thereafter.
Yes, as long as because listen, this is the deal. We know it as kids. When we were kids, when we went to school, we were taught to do what I call respect the time. The principal, the vice principal, the teachers, you respect those people. You have ultimate respect, ultimate. They have ultimate authority over you. They can't do wrong, and you just better listen or else.
Or else
And
dad's gonna get you.
in the old days, dad will get you. Dad will whoop your ass. And
That's
dad
right.
might not be the brightest bulb in the shed because the principal, the vice principal, the gym teacher might be harming that child. And actually, the father is sending the child back to the abuser with full authority to do whatever it is they want to do to them. But we're at the point now that those abusers are doing it out in the open
Yeah, they are.
with the sanctions of the local authority. Since when on earth did the public school system have the right to be a policing investigation system? They're not,
Yeah.
they never have been, they can't be, but that's what's happening. Crimes are committed in the public schools every single day of the week. And the public school system, between the principal, vice principal, even the friggin' school board, think that they have the right to decide whether or not that a crime, potential crime, should be told to the police that something had occurred that could be potentially be a crime. They don't have they don't have the right to be the judge, jury, and executioner. They don't. They fucking don't have that right. But this is where we are
Yeah.
today. This is where we are today, and it's not only wrong, but like you said, it's going to have ramifications for generations if this
Yeah.
shit is not stopped. You
And
know,
it didn't is it was I to me it almost feels that it was baited is the wrong word for way sure. It was but the government, when they created the uh, for fostering, for foster kids and stuff like that, taking
Uh-huh.
kids in, when the state started taking kids away, especially started taking kids away because a child sat there and accused a parent or somebody else of something that may or may not have been true. That that entire family's now destroyed from a single word and a single incident. You know what I mean? And it has ramifications. And the schools having
Well,
the same ability to sit.
the thing of it is, you talk with people that have had such issues in their lives. I know a gentleman. He's deaf, and when he was a child, he was put into an institution for deaf boys. He was abused there. Many of the boys were
Oh,
abused there. Systematic abuse, institutional abuse, because these kids could not defend themselves. People wouldn't listen to them. They had a hard time communicating. They had a hard time speaking up because they were put in the custody of these people.
and
And
nobody stuck up for him.
nobody would stick up for them. Absolutely. Now, at the
That's
same
sad.
time, when it happens at a private household, the worst offenders, right? The meanest, nastiest people that were abusers, nothing was happening to them because the people in the human services were afraid of those people. Instead, these people went after the people that were possibly being falsely accused and railroaded them and threatened to take their kids away when there was no real reason to take their kids away, in order to get to the point we are today, where they have such an authority over people that they're scared of false accusations by people from human services. Scared to death.
Yeah, that's how bad it is. Kids have gotten the power and control over their parents or teachers or other people for false accusations now. It's ridiculous.
They were trained how to do it by these people in the school system. that, that's the point of the
Yeah,
matter. They were trained to do this. And then it went to the next level and the next level. You know, the
almost
old
training,
story.
almost training them to be a rebellious, um, uh, up,
No,
you know
not
how with
not
generation.
not rebellious against authority, rebellious against the real authority. There's a
Yeah,
difference.
their parents.
The school system is not the real authority. The parents are the real authority.
Yep.
They taught them to be rebellious against the actual authority of the United States of America, which is the people. It's insanity. But you know the old story of put a frog in cool water, turn, turn a fire underneath it, and let it heat up and warm up till it's boiling hot, and the frog will stay there till it boils to death.
Yep.
These
And
things
it's
happen
sad.
in small increments. And I can tell you some of the things that happened over 20 or 30 years ago that are coming to light today that are the. I'll put it to you this way. I lived in a rural place, and the rural place is where they experiment on these things to see what works and what doesn't work for what it is that's trying to be achieved. Once they know what to
Right.
do, then they move on to the bigger places, more highly populated.
Right.
They had a system setting up where kids were taking from their homes, put into school all week long, and sent home on the weekends. Like it's Cuba. Like it's fucking Cuba, where they have day and night indoctrination, because it is indoctrination we're talking about. You know, a parent, whether I agree or disagree with their religion, they do have a right for religious training, which also cannot cross the boundaries of law, of criminal law. No matter what your religion is, if your religion includes crimes, you can't commit the crimes. In the public school system, the way they introduce sexuality into minor children, and it's getting younger and younger and younger. If you were to have done that to somebody else's child, you would have been arrested when you were younger. When you were younger,
Yeah.
if that kind of thing was going on, it would not be tolerated, an individual be arrested. If the fucking gym teacher was teaching a sex ed class and telling kids about sex because they were trying to groom them because they wanted to abuse them, if it got discovered, they would be prosecuted. Now they're grooming them out in the fucking open.
Yep.
It's unbelievable that it has gone this far, this fast.
And kind of the worst part of that, this country is supposed to be run by people who are supposed to be doing good for the entirety of the country. And it doesn't seem like it's going that way
No, that
at
isn't the way our
all.
country. No, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but no, that is not the way our country's supposed to be run. Our country is supposed to be run in a manner, and it doesn't matter if we're talking about the administrative branch of the federal government, the judicial branch, or the legislative branch. All they are is public servants. They are not supposed to be the decision makers to alter our government. Let me make this clear. The Declaration of Independence has a right, and it is the very first right that is described as being a right of the people. There's only one, and it's the right of the people to alter or abolish their government, which means the legislators themselves that we have today that are totalitarian, authoritarian, are doing so illegally. And they're neglecting their duty with their current ability to create a system that was not fully developed at the time the country was started for the people to vote and make decisions on altering or abolishing anything within our government. See, people take that, oh, well, we have the Constitution, and the Constitution, you know, gives us rights, and that's where we have rights. And they're really big on Second Amendment because, you know, our country was built on a revolution which required guns. So people think that that's the way to alter or abolish our government, is to overthrow it with weapons. And that, not only is that not the case, it's very fucking dangerous to think that it is the case. But the
Well,
fact that there is no option number two. There is no option number two.
they're using the younger generations now as, for lack of a better word, as a weapon or a tool of weapon against society to help change society in one direction or another. Is a perspective how I see it. That's been going on within the past 3 or 4 or 5 years.
It's
Scottish and Welsh wars of 1250 and 1400.
It's the communist mentality. The communist mentality is totalitarian government. And don't worry about the old people. Train the new people, train the next generation. And this has been going on since the beginning in our country too. See, I hear people say that our country is a democracy. We got to look out for democracy. Got to look out for democracy around the world, which is a nice idealistic thought if it was even true that our country is a democracy. It is not. It 100% is not a democracy. Voting for a representative, a so-called representative that usurps the authority of every citizen of this United States is not this. That's not a democracy. That's an aristocracy.
Huh.
See,
Well, it
people
don't
don't
sound
even know
like it's
what a
that good.
democracy is. They don't know what a republic is. You know, once because we got Democrats and Republicans, and that's the fight, right? It's about democracy, democracy, democracy. No, it's about republic, republic, republic. Well, do any of these people know where the word republic came from? Res Republica, the people's business. Well, what is the people's business? Well, first of all, we have the right to alter or abolish our government. That is an absolute right, unalienable right, guaranteed by our Declaration of Independence, right? There is nothing in the Constitution that takes that away because people don't understand the Constitution either, because the Constitution refers to the authority of the United States in the very end of it. Well, the authority of the United States is the people, according to the Declaration of Independence. But the bureaucrats and the administrators and the justice system and the legislators take it that that means them, that they're the authority. And it's not true. It has never been true.
You know, I'm sitting here listening to you talk about like how the evolution of democracy is going or lack thereof. I'm looking
That's a
at
good
these
word.
books.
That's a good
I'm looking
word.
I'm looking at these books. This was called The Armies of Gracie and Poitiers. Now, this book is about knights and stuff, you know, learning about the wars that happened, the medieval stuff and whatnot. Uh, oh, here we go. Like the suit, this I mean, they would suit up their horses for battle, not to go out into a pasture and ride in some hill and get paid some money. They were suiting up for battle. The evolution of war has changed throughout the centuries. New model armies, 1640 to 1660. So that to defeat an enemy, the ideal way to do it is like somebody posted or said or whatever, some great guy about not firing a single shot but planting a seed, and or something like that. And you know, and it's a true thing. The evolution of war has taken uh different perspectives, you know, like you said, how firearms made a difference. You know, gunpowder and lead made a difference between sword and bow and arrows. You know, now
Yes, but
your
the
armor's
end game was always the same. The end game was always the same. The end
which
game,
was
the end game was to, for one group, okay, if we're talking about knights with swords and lances, for one group to
mongrels.
go against another group that has swords and lances in order to put their leader in charge of oppressing the people.
But here, so how do we change a system so that the right person can be in there to do the right job that was meant to be done from the very beginning? Ooh, I can't wait to look at this one. Ooh, ooh, the conquistadors.
How do we make sure of that? For the people to take control of their government and have their right seat at the table.
Yeah,
To have the decision making process through referendum and public initiative in writing as part of the law, the part of the operations of the government. I'm not talking about the law about punishing a criminal. I'm talking about the laws of operation, of operating a government, and have the system in place, just like we have a system. The system was given to the states in order to vote for a president and a vice president, to vote for senators and legislators, and that was it. And some states started enacting referendums and public initiatives, but they really come short because those public initiatives and referendums are not directed at getting control of our federal government, which is the biggest problem. As shit rolls downhill, the problem is at the top of the hill to keep the shit from rolling down on top of you. The states are just mimicking the federal government. The counties are mimicking the states. The towns and cities are mimicking the counties and the states. And none of them have in place what it is that I'm talking about in a manner to deal and properly deal with on a large scale in every state of the union in a uniform manner, which is what our federal government is.
supposed to be.
Well, I
But
mean,
there,
our federal that is what the federal government is, the uniformity of all the states together.
yeah, but there, I mean, it seems like they all have their own personal agenda that they're not working for the better whole of all the countries. You know what I mean? They're just each state's trying to grab for their own, and it's like, let me get mine.
Well,
They're not.
it's worse than that. It's worse than that because, like I said, they don't even actually have the right to do that. They don't actually have the legitimate right to do what they're doing. Everything that has come about and the entire way that the government operates is based on the people not having the say to alter or abolish anything within their government. So all these things were created illegally, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, think about it this way: the natives, they lived here. They lived on the land with the land. Nobody owned it, but they lived with it, on it.
That, well, see,
And
it's
then
not
all of a
really
sudden,
true. It's not really true that nobody owned it because in the notion of ownership, that if you have a military power and they control an area and they keep other groups out, that is what ownership is. That is what all fighting is talking about with the Knights. It's about a military power taking control as a military force in one another area. So to take the notion that the Native Americans did not believe in ownership of land is not true for the governing force. It is only true for the individual person within the tribe in the ancient times. Now get this. That means we're talking about totalitarian communist government. The same thing as fucking China.
yeah. Ridiculous.
You know, if you got one tribe, okay, that's like saying, okay, an Israeli goes into Palestine, right? Somebody from Sweden says, hey, I want to buy this town. The guy from Israel says, I'll sell it to you. Nobody owns this land. Oh, okay, I buy it. Now I get the right to defend it. I'm going to bring my troops in and I'm going to defend it. That's exactly what the United States did to the Native Americans.
Yep.
That's exactly the game that was played when the British colonizers came in and said to a group of Indians that were inhabiting an area, can we buy this island? Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, nobody owns land. In other words, we're not looking at these things in a realistic fashion from what actually had occurred. Now, the Native Americans were totally fucked and screwed and abused and murdered and raped and pillaged and tortured and imprisoned. And it was a fucking tragedy what happened. An absolute
Yep.
fucking tragedy, because it didn't have to happen that way. Because the Native Americans that did assimilate to what was so-called the proper way of living, which at the
Yep.
time, for example, some of my relatives, which are Cherokees, at the time was to have a plantation, have workers, have slaves, grow cotton or whatever kind of thing, and sell it into the system so that there could be a taxation, so that everybody got their piece of the action. They did that too, and they still had their land taken from them, kicked off their land, forced to march the Trail of Tears out to fucking Oklahoma, where many of them fucking died, and they did what was said and expected of them, and they still got treated wrong. So I don't
Because they
hold
were
any
lied to.
begrudging of what they may have said or done to try to protect whatever it is, however they could possibly do it.
Their way of life and survival of living.
Absolutely. I don't care. I don't care that, I don't agree that their government treated the people as poorly as our government treats us, and as poorly as China treats their people and Russia treats their people, because we're all in a struggle to deal with these people that are vicious, violent, evil, sadistic, sociopathic people that will murder 1 million people for nothing other than money and power. And that's where we are today, having to deal with them. And, fucking Russia messing with Ukraine, and and our country gets involved. Oh, we got this, and we got to make sure that there's democracy, and other people saying, Ukraine's not a democracy. And they think living in America is living in a fucking democracy, and it is not, and it never, ever has been. And that has to change.
So we need to elect a new president. You running for president?
No.
Or should I?
No, I
change it all.
I don't want to. I do not want to be president of a corrupt, evil, broken, twisted system that is illegitimate and seditious. We're talking about our Congress is seditious. Our president is seditious. Our justice system is seditious. They're all seditious. They are working against what our country charter, the Declaration of Independence, is about. And there is only one thing identified in there. What is really and truly about is the people's right to alter or abolish anything within our government. And they're all working against it. That's sedition. When they bring weapons into it, when they commit war against our people, whether it's by guns or whether it's by COVID vaccination. That's a war against the fucking people. And that is treason. That's not just sedition. That is treason. And there's
Well,
many
I
more
mean,
aspects that can be considered war against the citizens by our
well,
government. Many
well,
of them.
I've been saying that COVID was a biological weapon of mass destruction because that's exactly what it did. It created mass destruction. It killed
Absolutely.
millions of people. So, I mean, whoever released that, individual, country, whatever, that was an act of war on humanity.
Well,
I mean, I don't understand. They can't. I don't understand why they can't call that out as it is, just like that. That's exactly what it is.
it,
Why are they so
it
afraid to
has
do
been,
it?
it has been called out. It has been called out. Dr. Fauci testified before Congress and the Senate on multiple occasions, and I'm not going to say what
Yes,
politicians
text.
they were because I don't remember. But I watched the Senate hearings involving Dr. Fauci, who is a fucking liar, and funded the creation of the COVID-19. It's called gain of function. It's called
Yep.
experimentation and gain of function of viruses, where a virus that would not naturally get a function, and that function is be able to infect a human being. And in
And
this case,
alter it.
we're talking about bats. It never in a million or a billion years would happen due to the science that we know. He funded experimentation in doing it. And he did it knowingly, and he had the fucking audacity in the Senate to say that, no, that's not gain of function. No, basically, what he was saying was things are only gain of function experimentation what we as the experts say are gain of function activity, even though the person questioning him totally outlined and totally described and showed just as evidence in a courtroom that that's exactly what he was behind.
Yep.
Exactly. Does the Senate, does the people need Dr. Fauci to admit guilt? Because he's not gonna admit guilt. He's never gonna admit guilt. You know what he's gonna do? He's gonna continue to be one of the highest paid government workers who are influential in our government until he's put in prison for life or executed on treason. You know, I started looking at the highest paid government workers because I was always the understanding that the president was the highest paid government worker. And it
Follow the
depends
money.
if you include benefits in there. But if you Google search, and anybody that's listening to this, Google search highest paid government employees. And as you go down that list, you will see time and time and time again that there are doctors on that list, and many of them are in the VA where our veterans are not receiving proper care, and they are the highest paid people, employees of this country. And it's an atrocity that these people are the highest paid employees, yet our country is so fucked up in the medical treatment of our soldiers that committed their lives to something that they believed was true, even though they got lied to.
Part of the process for getting one's disability benefits. I tell people that you have to go in there on a a cart and be dead even just to get like 1%. That's how bad that they are as sticklers to try to prevent um, veterans from receiving care that they should receive.
I can tell you why. Excuse me. I can tell you why. Because our soldiers are guinea pigs for Big Pharma. Guinea pigs. All the shots that they give soldiers are experimentations. I mean, hey, we know that the shots and vaccinations that are promoted to the public are experimentations. There is none of the evidence that people think is there to show that these products do what it is that they say that they do and do not cause other adverse serious problems. And if our soldiers were properly treated and the information was properly gathered on the experimentation that has occurred to them, because you know damn well the pharmaceutical companies are getting their hands on that information. You, John Q. Public, can't have it
Oh yeah.
because you might sue somebody. But you know damn well the pharmacies are getting it so that they can groom their drugs that they give to the public. No,
Yep.
it's an atrocity every way, shape, or form, no matter how you look at it, unless you refuse to look at it.
A control of society, or a control of bigger than a society.
That's what they're trying to do.
It's sad.
Zombies that will just do what they're told by whoever is in a government position, whether it's right, whether it's wrong. Zombies is what they essentially want. And they don't care if they have to do it chemically to the public. Have you seen what's going on in New York City? In New York City,
Not lately.
in New York City, there are vending machines put out on the street that all the person has to do is put in some information. I don't know if it's a zip code or an area code or something like that to describe where it is that they come from. And they have a vending machine that doesn't cost any money. It just distributes products. And the products in these vending machines are products that are paraphernalia for people to do illegal drugs.
Oh wow.
Put on the streets by the government of the city of New York. This is what they want. We have people in California, in big cities of California like Los Angeles, that are allowing governments, I'll call it government sponsored, allowing of chronic drug addiction by homeless people on the streets by creating the environment for it to happen. It's an atrocity.
They're trying to break the country, and I mean, I hope they don't. And I think the people. I mean, it's almost sad. I mean, does there have to be another revolution of some sort in America? Does it have to go that far?
Well, see,
or is there a way?
That's where we started, and that's a point where we started. Where people, they think revolution, they think Second Amendment. That's why we have the Second Amendment, not realizing the whole scope of the Declaration of Independence that the colonists kept readdressing their government. They kept redressing the government to fix these particular problems. They kept doing it over and over and over and over and over again, and that people should not jump to the extreme, such as an armed revolution against their government. I mean, that's what happened with the Civil War, essentially. One side said, we're going to have our government. Another side said, we're going to have our government. And there was a fucking war between the others where innocent people were killed to decide who's going to be the tyrants. That shouldn't have went down like that. You know, when people say, okay, the Civil War was about slavery, and some say, well, not actually slavery, it was about states' rights. Does the states have the right to decide what happens in their state? The answer to that is yes, but there's a caveat. They themselves cannot go against the Declaration of Independence. And by having
Right.
legitimized slavery, having legitimized unequal treatment of the people, went against the Declaration of Independence. But it is never fully explained like that, because then the average person would start realizing, hey, wait a minute, that happens to all of us, but for different reasons and different avenues. We basically all have our civil rights violated during the course of our lifetime. Every single one of us has our civil rights violated by one or more public official during the course of their lifetime. Every one of us. So what might happen?
Annually, and some annually. Anal.
Oh, my Lanta,
Oh,
you got to turn yours down a little bit. That hurt my ears. I think I thought Kiwi was squawking in my ears or something. Damn. How you doing, Bill? Oh, happy 4th of July to anybody that's still in here that's coming up. Happy 4th of July. Oh, and John, to all your previous comments that were hidden, I would totally agree with you in a sense. You know what I mean? But yeah, Bill, anything on Forrest Fenn about time, love, effort, or about what we're talking about how our society is being flipped upside down and
flipped upside down. Somebody needs to. I mean, instant evaporation of the swamp would do good. You know, pull the plug, drain the swamp.
right?
Where's my oh there? Oh, speaker. No. Oh, there's my microphone. There. How's that? How's that better?
Yes, that's a little bit better. Yes, thank you. Much appreciated.
I think that was Trump's talking point of drain the swamp that helped get him elected.
Well, it wasn't lying about the laptop. That was true. They said, the press said it was a lie. It was true.
Getting eaten alive by mosquitoes out here.
Well, the stuff that I've been talking about so far today or tonight, I haven't heard one thing about Trump working to resolve those situations. He wants to maintain
hours, he said.
business as usual. Trump wants to maintain business as usual, but he just wants to be the CEO of the enterprise. So he's no good either.
No, the people are the CEO.
No, they're not.
Yeah, well, that's what he's putting the people back in charge.
No, he's not.
No,
he's not.
Just hang on, wait and see. You don't listen to the X-22 report, I take it.
No, I don't. What I would listen to was to hear it out of Donald Trump, where he was explaining on how he was relinquishing his power to the people, where they are going to make the decision on what happens as far as altering or abolishing anything within our government. When he relinquishes that authority voluntarily to the people and come up with a system of voting so that the people can vote on every single issue of altering or abolishing in our government, then I'll believe that he's American. Other than that, he's just as un-American as any other.
I've said it a lot.
Ink on the thumb.
With the technology we have and all that, you know, your thumbprint, whatever on the phone, it's me, I'm voting, boop, 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 thumbprint, yes, that was me. And what they approved in Congress, you should have an actual choice of saying, yeah, no, fuck that. You know,
I don't think the the sophisticated equipment is a good idea. I don't think it's even a good idea for voting when people vote that they have access to personal and private information of each individual voter. A person's vote that goes in the box should be anonymous who it was that cast that particular vote. And that hasn't been true since it got turned into an electronic ballot box, which
Well,
makes
no,
it easy.
That makes a good point.
as long as you're using computers that somebody programs, they can tell it to do whatever they want it to do. That's the
Exactly.
Well,
problem.
that's the thing is
Exactly.
what he's saying is a paper vote or a thumbprint vote. It's simple. It's very simple. It's this is me. This is who I am. Or just casting your vote without your name. I mean, why? What does it matter who you cast your vote for? You know what I mean? As long
Yeah.
as if you casted your vote. You got to figure out that you got to go for the guy
Well,
who wants to sit there and try
the
to
whole
do
thing about
better
having, the whole
for
thing about having a paper
individuals.
vote, the whole thing about having a paper vote is that's evidence, and evidence that can be recounted. It's evidence that can be recounted by different people than the first group of people.
Yep.
It's a difficult situation with such a large population to deal with these things. But a
Well, I mean,
person
it's
would be
especially
voting.
since it just increased by 10 million.
Well, affirmative action is going through the septic system right now. So it got flushed down the toilet, didn't it? I remember I didn't get a job with the Colorado Highway Department once because I couldn't prove that I was part Indian because I didn't have something from my tribe.
Yeah, that happened to my mother. That's why, as a single parent, my mother wasn't able to be nearby. She could have had a really good paying job within walking distance from the house at a prestigious college.
The registry
Everything
number.
was going great with the interview. She was going to be at the front desk of African Studies, I believe that it was. And when they found out that she wasn't an African American, that she was a Native American, she got cast to the side. And that never should have happened.
No.
Yeah, the DNA test, like my family, it's my father's mother's mother. If you're tracking DNA, you either go the father, or the mother. It doesn't go the father, mother. That route doesn't show up. All that shows up is the father's line on the male DNA and the mother's mother, the female line on the mother's side, and not her. It doesn't show her father's mother.
Yeah, don't crisscross.
Her mother's mother. No.
And the father.
The fathers interrupt that line, and so you don't see the line of the fathers from the mother's side. All you see is the mother line. So,
AWB.
Somebody claimed they were Native American, and the test showed that they weren't. There is no test that will definitively do that because of that inaccuracy. That it's only testing half of your tree.
Yeah, you know how they fucked us in the earlier
Open
days,
Zoom.
Bill? Like in where my mother grew up in upstate New York, right? The records in the I think the courthouse,
Utica,
the city hall, the courthouse.
it burned down.
Yes, they burned down the place that held all the records of the Native Americans.
Records were in there. If your records were in there, then you might have come from the same sperm sac I did somewhere back there.
I don't know. Do you what
The
tribes
lineage, you never know.
tribes do? Wait a second. What tribes do you know that you're connected to?
Tribe in Halifax.
Kiowa down in Oklahoma.
Okay.
No, I'm related to Cherokees and the
Comanche.
my ancestor that came from Nova Scotia, whatever tribe, the Pequots or whatever. I don't know.
Apache?
Uh-huh.
Comanche,
Yeah, yeah.
Apache with the
My
Kiowa?
mother told me. My mother told me
Great
that
big nose like Moby Dick.
her mother was half Cherokee, and she said she thought the other half was Blackfoot. But when I started researching the area where she grew up and remembering the different stories that she told me, how she went to go visit her grandmother was afraid of white people. She didn't so much as even come out of the house. And she stood at the window looking out the door to watch my mother. Well, my grandfather had to go do something. But anyhow, that area, there's a tribe called the Oswegatchie. And the Oswegatchie is known as the Blackwater Indian. So when I found out when I found out about that, I was like, oh, that has to be the real connection. It has to be half Cherokee and half Blackwater.
This guy, his name was Hogan, and a Hogan is a ceremonial thing, you know. The Hogan
Navajo is
building, the round thing with the arched, you know. So it's like the sweat lodge is a Hogan, right?
But isn't that typically Navajo?
Little prayer house thing, huh?
Is that typically Navajo?
Well, no, all the tribes had them. You know, they all shared pretty much similar religions. You know, similar beliefs in the earth and all that's, you know, Mother Earth and all that shit. You know. Huh.
I wonder how.
So with the Native Americans, mother was earth and the father was the sky. But the Egyptians, the Osiris, his golden phallus inseminated the stars. So there the stars are the mother and the earth is the father. It's like they do the opposite of what the other one did, you know.
I get it.
Did you see me on, did you see me on Into the Wild Frontier?
No, I still haven't seen that. You need to just
it was all, they only ran it one time. All the other episodes this year they ran on Saturday and Wednesday. This one they only did Saturday, and then Wednesday they're starting with episode 1 of season 2.
Are you telling me you didn't record yourself?
Oh, I've got it on. I've got it here on my favorites. I have it saved on my Friendly TV.
Well, you should shoot that link so I can check it out.
Well, after 2 days, you can't watch it. You can't watch the listings after 2 days. You have to have recorded them for 2 days.
That's what I'm saying is, did you not sit there and play it on your tablet or your computer and hit screen recorder and record that stuff so you can record yourself?
I've got it right here on my. I can play it right off the internet. I have it saved on my favorites in there. So if you didn't save it in your favorites before 2 days.
So how long is?
If you didn't grab it,
you
couldn't grab it. Then you have to wait till the reruns, and it'll be on Amazon and probably on Smithsonian and National Geographic and and
So
all that
how
stuff.
long is your part in it?
I probably have 30 seconds of talking. Yeah, I make a statement in the beginning about how he learned. He had friends that were Native American that taught him how to fight, how to hide in trees, how to camouflage and ambush, and
Well,
and
can't you pull it up on your thing and do the share screen and show it?
yeah.
Just show your 30 seconds, man. I want to
Well,
see your 30 seconds.
A piece in the beginning, a piece in the end.
Well, show both of them.
Let's see.
I ain't got nothing else better to do. I mean, that's part of time. It's sharing time. You did something cool. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing it. You know, you're taking the effort to do it. You know, and maybe somebody out there would love to see, you know, Bill Gorman on a thing that they haven't seen. You know, these are things beyond the thrill of the chase. These positive achievements that other searchers have been receiving that is worth sharing. You know, is worth sharing the good news. It's worth sharing these things, regardless of how you feel about people. You know what I mean? At least praise the good things. And you know, if you feel you got knocked the negative, go ahead.
There.
But
Okay.
I know I'm gonna lose chat in like 3% because I ain't got no charger out here yet.
Can you hear that? Can you hear that?
Sponsored by Balance of Nature.
Yep.
You can hear that? Okay.
Yep.
Before George Washington. Little in Rogers' early life.
I guess I could probably, the intro is kind
A
of
whole new way to wage war on the frontier.
pause.
Pause, share screen. Now premiering Bill Gorman. But yeah.
Yeah, go big.
Dobby, thanks for stopping by. John, thanks for stopping by.
Is that you can see it?
Yep, we can see it.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna lose chat, but I'm gonna stay live, but I just won't be able to respond to chat. So if you guys see chat and anybody points my name out or your guys' name out, holler it out. But yeah, open Zoom. All right. Here goes Bill Gorman.
I'll mute it for the commercials.
Balance of Nature.
Oh well. You got a commercial.
Before George Washington, Robert Rogers is the most celebrated soldier in America. A daring leader who creates a whole new way to wage war on the frontier.
It's Alan Williamson. I know.
Rogers and his legendary Rangers are on a mission of life or death. He has to pilot a raft down 60 miles of rushing river.
CG's funny.
To find food for the rest of his starving men. If Rogers fails, they die. Wild Connecticut river thunders the raft of the powerful rapids. We have to get the shark. What's stranded? Watch that rock.
Such good acting.
It's on a one-way path to certain doom.
I had a suggestion if they did it again to just record a raft floating down the river and CG the people on the oars. Would have been it would have looked better.
The dense forests of the American colonies require a new kind of warfare and a new kind of soldier. And Robert Rogers is the prototype.
Robert Rogers is the godfather of American special forces as we understand it. in North America, you had different enemies who fought in a different way. You needed people who were capable of fighting them on their own terms. Rogers was at that unique point in time in history when it's the evolution from one way of fighting to a new way of fighting. A lot of the things that he actually wrote down and made as the guiding rules and principles for his soldiers then, we still do today.
Robert Rogers introduced the idea of redefining what was possible. And if you look at the Marines, the SEALs, the Rangers today, the cutting edge guys, they don't accept what other people think is possible. They redefine what is possible. The son of Scottish settlers, Rogers learns his wilderness skills growing up in the woods of western New Hampshire.
I'm after this guy.
All right, Bill Gorman's presentation.
He had friends who were Native Americans in that area, and he learned to hunt with them, how to hide behind trees and camouflage.
Rogers gets a master class in frontier skills and Native American tactics, but he has no intention of applying those lessons to war. There's very little in Rogers' early life that suggests that he aspired to be a patriot or an officer.
Okay, I better not show too much of the,
Right? Not bad. Nice little piece there.
I'm in the end. Let me see.
What years was this, Bill?
1700s?
1759, 1758, 17, yeah, it's in there. 1759, I think. French and Indian War, up Lake Champlain, up into up near Montreal and stuff. Up like between New Hampshire and Vermont, up there, that part of Canada, right? Border of New Hampshire and Vermont, kind of.
To risk his own life.
Down the Connecticut River.
Rogers Rangers are an absolute.
There, that was my part.
1800s till now on the modern battlefields of
Here.
Afghanistan. That says a lot about what Rogers put together.
He didn't feel more important than his men. They were equal to him. He wouldn't send them into any type of battle that he wouldn't be willing to do himself. He'd risk his own life rather than risk one of his men.
Rogers.
Ooh, well said.
All of the American special ops look up to and have a respect for. His legacy lives on today when you see all those young Rangers using the exact principles that he taught them to this day so that it can survive many conflicts that they're about to face.
That's Alan Williamson. They do Gunsmoke too.
How far west did Rogers Rangers go along the border of Canada?
They made him governor of Michilimackinac, which is like where the bridge between the two parts of Michigan is, on the south part of under the south part of the bridge. And he sent Jonathan Carver on an expedition to go up to the Missouri River to the Shining Mountains, where it's a 20-mile carry to the Oregon River that goes to the Pacific Ocean. The exact route that Lewis and Clark followed to get to the Pacific Ocean. They brought Robert Rogers' instructions with them when they made their journey.
Oh, yeah. See, because the Oswegatchis in northern New York, right on the Canadian border, they fought on the side of the French during that war, and they were never able to live that down. That was always held against the tribe.
See, this is what I thoroughly enjoy most about Beyond the Thrill of the Chase, is learning history from other people's perspective.
You see, that's
from even both of you. I mean, You trusted. You have a lot of knowledge. You know what I mean, Bill? You're creative in your own special way. You know what I mean? So I mean, y- y'all
This
have
show,
knowledge in different ways.
this show is what's her name? The girl that was going by, she had a username that, well, fly on the wall, and she was saying, "Oh, it's about heritage and inheritance and frontiersmen and woodsmen and dun, dun.
Well, it
What,
was about a way of life, taming the wild with your bare hands. You know.
well, part of being you know, the a shaman in the Native American, you had to know who your ancestors were.
Mhm.
You know, and I know my ancestors pretty freaking far back.
Well, I'm working on that. I need to go down south and see my mom and get some documents and go visit some family.
Because
And
you know, just being related, Robert Rogers, he's related to Roger 1 and 2 of Sicily and Naples, King of Naples and Sicily, who wore Charlemagne's cloak, which was a Persian cloak that Charlemagne wore. You know, here's Christian, the head of the Catholic Christian Church, Charlemagne, wearing a Persian cloak.
oh, I was just seeing Charlemagne in here.
But Lady Godiva's like
Right
my
there.
27th great grandmother. And you know, she was like 60, over 65 when she made her ride. Yeah. Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
this book,
One of my ancestors.
this is by David Nicole. And I think it's McBride. The Age of Charlemagne. And this was written in so warfare in Western Europe, 750 to 1000 AD. So yeah, he was fighting who? The Persians? Did you say Persian?
He was wearing a Persian cloak. His cloak, his red cloak with all the embroidery
Is
all
that this
over
Bill?
the royal cloak, you know.
Nobody can hear me.
It was a Persian made.
Am I on my own?
Huh? What's that? What happened to him? There, he's back. He didn't go anywhere.
What happened?
I don't know. Kiwi, pull on your microphone.
What about my microphone?
Are you still in the East?
Yeah.
Oh.
This is an interesting map. Oh, sweet. I'm going to Italy next year. The wife wants to go to Italy.
I've been thinking
Think-
about moving to freaking Europe, because I was in Greece, and you can get an apartment for $450 a month. You know.
Oh,
So,
really?
I mean, in 2 months you save what your round trip flight costs. So you go there for 6 months. You can stay there for 6 months, and then you go up to like Norway for 6 months, then over to Scotland for a while, then over to, you know, just hop around. And
I like how this book shows some good detail.
yeah.
It shows you some of the travel routes.
When I flew back, we flew straight up between the Serbias and Italy, flew straight up there, right over Amsterdam. We went north of Scotland, and we stayed over the ocean, Black Sea, and didn't even cross England, English airspace. We went all the way around it, and then almost hit Iceland, and then past Greenland, and down the Appalachians into Atlanta, which the pilot called Atlantis, because Atlanta is.
I wonder if Charlemagne worked with Rome. Did Charlemagne work with Rome?
Charlemagne was the Byzantine Empire, and he was out of Constantinople. What was the other name for it?
No idea.
There's a song.
I just love learning history, you know, the different things that they, like the different weapons that they would use, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trusted, what are you doing? Anybody see chat? I don't see chat because my tablet died.
I just saw a thing on a Navy jet plane was taken off, and it dropped this like fuel tank thing on the deck, and immediately the crew got it over the side and threw it off the side of the ship. And people,
when's this? What? When?
Why they did that? Because it wasn't a fuel tank; it was a napalm bomb.
When was this?
Oh, it was just a video I watched, a little short video on YouTube.
Oh, really? That's crazy.
And
yeah,
it fell off of the plane.
Oops.
It was a bomb, and they didn't want it. But instead of risking an accident going off, they throw it off the side of the ship.
Yep.
That's crazy.
It's interesting. I mean, like legacies. If you go back to, like, you know, the age of Charlemagne, different kingdoms. I mean, obviously, I was just showing a bunch of books of the different eras and ages of battles and types of suits of armors from the evolution of I guess the medieval age, but how they would make banners and stuff to recognize their fellow men and whatnot.
Well,
like they would put good pride in it, you know what I mean? And it makes you wonder how they would fare today. Like if you put a bunch of people together and had them do it. Well, I mean, like I still equate life to like the thrill of the chase to like Survivor. Yeah, it's a good equation for me anyway. You know, it's like Forrest Fenn played Survivor. You know, he outwitted a lot of people. You know, well, one guy definitely outwitted a lot of people. Outlasted. He. But it is what it is, and that's how life rolls, you know. It's got waves of good and bad, you know. That's just the way it goes. But yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. What were we talking about?
Well, you had a freeze frame go on there, so whatever it is that you said, I haven't a clue.
Oh, so nobody heard anything I just said?
We were trying to figure out where Charlemagne was at, right? This is where he was.
Where was Charlemagne? What is my stuff all jacked up? That's okay.
No, you're doing fine.
I mean, I'm like this. Oh, I didn't even look at this book was made when. I didn't even look at the print. Let's see. Wish I had my glasses, but 1984. Ooh, it's 1984. But I mean, I think they do a pretty good job of retelling the story of Charlemagne.
You know this one?
Hold,
Is this Istanbul and Constantinople?
yeah. Hey,
Charlemagne was.
Bill entrusted Troy. My sincerest condolences, I'm sure, from everybody else on your loss. Welcome for joining.
Yeah, I need to get away from it. I've been doing a lot of research, and I seen that you were on, so I thought I would call in just for a little while. I tried to take my mind off, but I've been doing a lot of research, got a lot of leads. I want to see the person caught, prosecuted, sentenced to death, and I will show up at court. And if they don't get sentenced to death, I will be at court if they ever try to get parole.
To deny it.
Hey, Troy.
They will not get away with it. Trust me, they will not get away with it.
Troy, reach out.
I think I know who did it.
This guy. Well, if you know, if you got a lead, then yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure. I'm not going to say anything, but I'm pretty sure I know what happened because we have phone records, and I see what he was doing 2 hours before he was killed. But I'm just letting the detectives do their work. They know about it. They seen the phone records. They're doing what they got to do. But the only thing that's annoying me is that my daughter's trying to make arrangements, and the medical examiner was supposed to reach out to me on Wednesday. I never heard anything from them. The state of Florida is going to pick up the tab for the funeral. They pay up to $7,000. The catch is that you have to you can't be committing any crime, when you're murdered, and then the state will pay up to $7,000. So we're gonna once they get ready to release him from the medical examiner, we'll have a funeral parlor lined up, and we decided we're just going to get him cremated because I can't afford. We don't have a burial plot and all of that. So, and we're going to have like just a small gathering for only the immediate family. There's not going to be any obituary, and we'll just that's that. I don't want. I'm not associating, obviously. On Facebook, I don't. His friends. I don't have access to them and stuff. But a bunch of his friends have communicated with the detectives already, and they got a lot of leads. A lot of evidence, but I want to make sure I get as much as I can. So I got people helping me out. Also, I have a private detective that's going to be looking at this stuff for me. I will catch this person. I can guarantee you that they will be caught. That's my new life goal. And I mean, I'm not going to be no vigilante or nothing like that. It'll all be done through the justice system, but
right.
I will be there in court all the time. And I already told the sheriff that I'm loud and I am not going to shut up. And I said, this will be investigated. I'm not going to let it be pushed to the side. I was also communicating with the news over in Ocala, the ones that, Granny posted those videos. And then at the second half of the video I made today, I called up Channel 9 newsroom and I was talking to them, and I'm going to talk to the reporter. I told them I don't want to do any interviews. I don't want them at my house, nothing like that. But I told them I really don't know anything. You know, I was talking to the detective about it, and the private detective,
Yeah.
and also a couple of friends actually from the chase that are in law enforcement. And unfortunately, that's, you feel like you're in the dark when you're the victim's family. But I understand, that they can't, like, they can't tell me anything. You know what I mean? Like and the other thing the detective told me, and I thought that this was interesting. He said, don't believe what you hear in the news, the facts, because he goes, some of the facts that they have are wrong. He said the same thing about the information that I told him that his friends are posting on Facebook. My son's page is like, he had it private, but obviously they could see it. I'm getting it shut down, locked. I'm waiting for Facebook to lock it. I was going to keep it open because I figured we'd get evidence his friends are posting and communicating, but the detective said it's probably best that we get it locked down, because what people do is they'll post like fake alibis and stuff like that there and distort stories so that when the truth comes out, so you're better off not letting anybody post there at all.
Muddy in the waters.
Yeah, but I thought it was interesting because I think, now this is just me speculating. I think
pictures there. There were only 2 or 3. So who's ever posted is people he's already friends with.
Yeah. No. I mean, the people that posted the pictures, I don't think any of them are suspects. They posted a screenshot of the text messages. He did a voice chat at roughly 2:45 in the afternoon, and then he contacted his girlfriend roughly 4:30, and then he was dead by 6. So obviously they have, whether or not they have a cell phone doesn't really matter. They have access to the cell phone company to triangulate positions of where he was, because that's key, I believe, to find out where he was. And
especially in 3 spots, because there's the ping of when he sent out the message, and then there's the ping of when he contacted so and so, his girlfriend, and then there's the ping of where his body was found. So there's 3 pings.
Well, yeah,
that line,
Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to talk about the not because I'm ashamed, but I want to make sure that if anybody sees this, I don't want to give anybody any kind of tips of what's going on. Not that I know, but I mean, I have. But let's put it this way: my niece talked to my son like at least 2-3 days a week, every week. I have somebody else that's a relative that's in law enforcement, and they live on the West Coast, and they're roughly his age, and they would talk to him at least once a week. And he told them a lot of stuff they didn't tell us, especially my niece. And my niece had a lot of information, and that's why I think I know who did it. I think they know too, but I just don't think that they're prepared to move yet. But anyway, what I was saying about the media, I realized this because I'm in this position, and I could see why they do it. And I mean, I was telling the cop, I don't trust the media anyway. I mean, Biden didn't win no election, but I think what they do is they put information out there that's not accurate on purpose. Not the media, the detectives do, because let me give you an example. Let's say that somebody was beat to death, right?
And the media just didn't listen.
Well, I'm saying, let's say somebody was beat to, let's say the news says that somebody was beat to death, right?
Yeah.
And they're interviewing a suspect, and the suspect goes, I don't know how he got shot. Well, then the police say, what do you mean? How did you know he got shot? You see what I'm saying? So they'll purposely put stuff out there like a honeypot to people to incriminate themselves, and I'm that's speculation on my part. But he told me just be careful what you listen to, and then obviously, you know, they won't tell me anything. But it's a tough position to be in because like my county did more for me. You know, it was really a tough day because my wife left for work at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And 20 minutes later, there's somebody out in front of my house with lights shining and they're knocking on the door. Dogs are going nuts. I look out the window. I can't really see what it is or who it is. I go and look at the window and I could see the one guy's badge. So I open up the door and it was, well, it looked like two cops and like an EMS person. But one of them, as it turns out, was a chaplain. And they told me they were looking for my wife. And I got really scared. I thought my wife left for work on a car accident. They were coming to tell me she was dead or something happened. So I said, well, my wife's not here. I said, you got something to tell her? You tell it to me. I'm her husband. And they said, all right. And I said, all right, so she's all right, right? And I said, yeah. And they said, all right. So it's about my son, I'm sure. So they said, can we come in the house? And I said, yeah. And they come in the house. And then, of course, they tell you that your son's deceased. So I immediately ask them, well, what? You know, what happened? Did he get in a car accident? What happened? And we can't tell you. And I'm like, man. And he goes, well, no. He said, the problem is that he's in another county and we're, a different county. So he goes, we're here to notify you, but here's the detective and here's a phone number. So when the police left about 10 minutes later, I went outside like 5:45 in the morning and I called the detective. I left a message. 2 hours later, he didn't call me back. I left another message. Then I look at the news and they're talking about a body on the side of the road. They didn't have a name. So I'm guessing that probably was related to him, but it's already on the news. I was pissed off now. So I called up the sheriff's department. I'm like, why is this shit on the news? I'm the parent. I said, does that have anything to do with my son? Well, we'll get the detective to talk to you. I leave another message. He still don't talk to me. They didn't call me until like the next day, like Wednesday.
Yeah.
So he calls and I'm like, what happened? I'm like, what, like, did he get carjacked or what? Like, was he with his car or what? We can't tell you if he was with his car. We can't tell you exactly what happened because it'll compromise the investigation, but it's suspicious. So my wife goes on Facebook and she tells one of his girlfriend. She's talking to his girlfriend. She goes, Wayne's dead. And his girlfriend said, oh my God, and she goes, that's what it was. She said the police came to my house at 3:00 in the morning and they interviewed her and they told her it was a homicide robbery investigation. And she said the last time I talked to Wayne was, and she said 4:45. He was supposed to pick me up at 6:30. He never showed up. So I don't believe she's a suspect. I'm just going to say that now.
I wonder.
But anyway,
I wonder what.
I don't think she was. I was just saying I don't think she's a suspect.
Right. I wonder what the stress or volume of your son's voice message was. Was there some? It
wasn't a voice message. It was a text message, and I don't.
Right?
I mean, so it was very clear what he was saying, and it pretty much explains what happened. I mean, you could just read it, and where he was going and what he was going to do, and what was going to happen. So that's why I'm not going to say what was in there.
Yeah,
his friend's seen it, but I know. And it was like one of those things. I'm going to go and get it back or whatever. And then 2 hours later, so the question is, where did he go? But I'm not even going to speculate. But anyway, his girlfriend said that, so I called the sheriff back again. I'm like, okay, now I'm really mad. It was on the news. The guy didn't call me, and I said my wife was talking to his girlfriend. And why did the police that were interviewing you told her that it's a homicide robbery investigation? And I'm saying you're telling somebody, and you're not telling the immediate family. Why would you tell a potential suspect? I was pissed off. But what they did was they told her that they were investigating homicide robbery. They didn't tell her that he died or anything happened,
Right.
because they want to see what she's going to say. What did she say? I don't know. But I personally don't think she had anything to do with it. She was from out of town. She came down here a couple of months ago once. She visited here. She was here with them at my house about 3 weeks ago. And then she moved now on the 22nd of June to, she was buying a house or a trailer or something up there. And she was going to move into there. And then my son started dating her on like the 23rd. But I don't think, see, because of what happened in the crime, because
your son just met a girl and started moving in together and everything.
No. He knew her online for a while, and they had mutual friends. My son grew up in Minnesota.
Right, but what I'm saying is your son was just about to start a new life.
Yeah, my son was no angel. He had some felonies, but they were no violent crime, no guns, no knives. Basically, he was into drugs for a lot of years, and then he would, do things that you shouldn't do to get money and buy drugs and whatever. He wasn't dealing, but he finally. it took him a long time, but he's been clean for like a year. We know that because he's on like a kind of like a parole thing. They have to go for blood work. So he hasn't been doing. He paid off a lot of his fines. He got his driver's license back like 2 weeks ago. He bought a car. He got a job. He was finally getting things right. And then somebody killed him. Yeah, that's what pisses me off. And that's what I told the cop, though. I said, listen, I know he was not the most upstanding citizen, but I said, trust me when I tell you, and I told the cop, I am not going to let you like just brush this under a rug. And what I mean by that is, how like if a hooker dies, nobody really cares.
Yeah.
Or a homeless person died, nobody really cares. I said, well, I care.
Or a crackhead dies.
Right. Yeah. And I said, you will investigate it. They assured me they are. When they went on site at 6:35 p.m., the main detective was working for 36 hours. And then they had two other detectives. Another one put in 11 hours. They had like over 60 or 70 hours of investigation. Not one person. By the time the end of Thursday rolled on, because they know that time is of the essence. So I don't believe it had anything to do with his girlfriend. The main reason, I don't really know her, but I know how he met her, and I know they had mutual friends from when he went to school.
Why would she move down here and start it? You know what I mean? Why would she buy a place?
Because she wanted to move to Florida.
Right. They were getting together. They were
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So, I wouldn't call it a suspect. When you love somebody and you're doing she's making these life changes.
No. Well, I don't mean that way. What I'm saying is you start thinking to yourself, okay, I don't really know her. Did she have an ex? Does she have any kids? Could her ex be pissed off? Could her ex have followed her down here? There's all kinds of questions that I have about that. I don't know, but I just don't think it. I was telling the cop, and I'm kind of preaching to the choir. He's doing his job, but I like to be an analysis. And I told him, I said, look, if somebody, what they were alluding to is he was not killed where they found the body. So what that means is somebody killed him and they dumped him there right now. Well, he's a pretty big guy. He's taller than me. There's no way a woman's going to pick him up. So I think they're more than one person. Now, what that alludes to is somebody local to the area. And I think the cops agree. Somebody that came down here from Minnesota is not going to know, like, oh, okay, where's an isolated spot that I can drop? So it had to be somebody local. And if you listen to the newscast, I thought it was interesting that they have they mentioned the dog team that was there in the woods was from another county, not Marion County. The county that they mentioned is up by Jacksonville.
How far away?
Well, I mean, it's not. It's actually probably closer than I lived to where my son was. Ocala to Jacksonville is not that far. 2 hours, hour and a half. I mean, so it's very well possible that that there's some suspect. I have no idea what had somebody from there. See, they're not going to tell me, and I don't care about that. I told the cop, I said, I don't expect you to come and give me daily updates and tell me what you're doing. I said, but I'm pissed off because it took a day for somebody to get in touch with me, and they wouldn't even tell me what happened to him, right? And my daughter's fiance is a detective, Minnesota, and he told me, yeah, he goes, well, if there's a detective going to be contacting you, it wasn't a car accident. It was something more serious.
That's you mentioned it. Like an hour or 2 hours between when he told her he was going to be there and it happened. But so he was driving to go see her. Did he leave his car somewhere?
No. Well, that's the thing. And I mean, that's what I was trying to find out from them, but they wouldn't answer the question. But his friends answered the question.
Yeah.
Apparently, and I don't want to give too many details out. No, he did not have his car. He lent this car to somebody. He lent this car to somebody the day before, and they didn't give it back. Okay. Now in the text message, he's basically alluding to the fact that I know where my car is. I'm going to go get the fucker.
There you go.
I need a ride. And his friend couldn't give him a ride. And they responded to the text message. He goes, well, I'm going to go I got a second fucking key and I'm going to go get the motherfucker.
Yeah.
So clearly by that text message, I know he was going to get his car. What I believe happened is somebody set him up. They had the car that he knew where it was. They told him and they were already planned. And when he got there, they killed him. And then this is just me speculating. And then they dumped him over. That's what I think happened. I don't think it's going to take the police long because
that would make sense.
It's so obvious in that text message what was happening, what he was, and they verified that message was real. It wasn't, because that's the first thing. You know how in the chase, I'm like, yeah, it's a fucking screenshot, and he said no, but it was real. So he thought he was going to be, I'm just assuming like Mr. Tough Guy went over there and then, well, that's what happened.
I don't see how people figure they can get away with shit like that.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say something right now. You know, I'll tell you, these people
are not.
Bill, these people are really fucking stupid. They're beyond, it's not beyond redneck. I mean, they are really fucking stupid. I'll tell you, I mean, I was looking at some of their Facebook pages and stuff. They don't have any privacy settings, and the shit they post is like, it's just amazing. And I mean, their grammar is completely terrible, but they're so fucking stupid, you know, they're going to get themselves caught. So I'm pretty confident.
Some of that, right?
Well, I mean, there's just more than that. What people are, what his friends are saying on the web, on the site. And what I heard from a couple of other people, I'm not going to say who, had told me that they talked to Wayne, and they're speculating, of course, but they were like, "Look, I know," and I mean, obviously, I know how my son thinks, and I know there was probably shit that he was doing, and he wasn't telling me about it, but it's annoying because he was trying to. I mean, he was getting clean. That picture that I have in my video is like from last week. I mean, he doesn't look like somebody that's on drugs and, you know, how their face is all sucked in. No, I mean, he's, I've seen him when he was.
His car.
What?
Sounds like somebody just wanted his car.
Yep.
Yes. Well, there's more to it than that, but I'm not going to discuss it. There's more to it than that based on what his friends told me. And I don't want to discuss it because I don't want any chance of any word. One of the things I thought was interesting that I put that video out because I'm trying to make sure I know that some of the searchers have relatives or friends. And like, for example, Satya, when Satya's seen it, she told me, oh, yeah, I know a lot of people in Florida. And so there's been at least two people. One of the people, I don't remember what her name was, but she posted on my video. She actually has friends that live in Ocala.
Stephanie and Candyman, I think, do.
Where?
Don't they right around there? The Candyman, Stephanie.
Yeah, I don't know. I emailed the link to it to a lot of people. I sent it to Cynthia. I sent it to K Pro and Mike because I want them to talk about it on the video because they have access to a lot of people. I just want them to point them there. Because I
posted it on their page.
Okay, Jeremy Hales with the YouTube channel What the Hales. He's in Otter Creek and he has a big following in that area.
Okay.
And he would, if you reached out to him, he'd jump on, you know.
Yeah, Steve Klein has relatives in Jacksonville.
What's his name again, Bill?
Huh?
What's his name again?
What the Hales? Jeremy Hales. Hales. He's filthy rich from selling storage units.
Yeah. By the way, thanks, Mario. One of the people that's reaching out to me.
Can you guys see chat? Because I can't see chat.
Yeah, I can. Mario offered condolences, Davey B.
Otter Creek. He ran the mayor of Otter Creek out of town.
Yeah, a lot of people reached out. I mean, even people I don't get along with. They gave condolences. A lot of people emailed me. K Pro sent me like some like a pretty long email, and like her daughter, she was talking to her daughter about it. I mean, I'm overwhelmed with the amount of people that are really offering support. I wasn't expecting that, but one of the people that replied to my video in the chase, I forgot what her name is now. You know who she is, but she's like, yeah, I got friends that live in Ocala. And I'm like, see, that's perfect. That's good, man. Because I don't know what that area looks like. I haven't been to the new place that he was living at. So I don't know, but I just wanted to get it in front of many people as possible because, somebody somewhere seen something. And that's the other thing I just want to make clear. And I thought this is interesting too. I thought that they would release my son's name. And they wouldn't. The police wouldn't release it until I told them so. And I said, yeah. He said, well, it's up to you. He goes, we'll release it. He goes, the good thing about it is it'll help get more leads to release the picture there. What I mean by that is they normally don't, like when he died, once he's dead, it's public information. But when there's an ongoing murder investigation, they don't release the victim's name unless the family says you can. At least here in Florida, they wouldn't do it. We had to give them permission to release the name, which obviously I did. But now we're waiting for the state of Florida victim advocate for people where you had a family member that was killed in a violent crime or murdered. They reach out to you, but like I said, they can't do it until the medical examiner reaches out to me, and I have to obviously know where we're going to bring him. But what they do, my daughter talked to them, and they told her what you need to do is you find a funeral home, and then you make the plans of the funeral home, and then they work out with the medical examiner. Yeah. When they release the body, when you sign, they'll bring it to the funeral home, and of course they do the work at the funeral home, the cremation or whatever you're going to do.
Yep.
And I'm like, so how's all this going to get paid? And the state of Florida said they contact the funeral home, and the funeral home bills the state directly. We don't even need to pay anything.
Oh,
assuming it's under $7,000, which I would imagine. I mean, we're going to have them cremated. That's like $3,000, and then and then we're just going to have for the family, like to come in, like when you go to the funeral home, we'll do it for like 2 hours one day. That's it. It's going to be over. I'm not going to make an obituary. I'm not going to make a big deal. So Facebook's giving me a fucking hard time. I went through this when my father died, but it was no problem. And when he died, I sent them the obituary, and I don't have an obituary for my son. And they're like, oh, and I said, I told them, call the fucking detective. I said, here's the case number. He's murdered. Here's the news. I said, call the detective. The detective will tell you. I said, shut the fucking thing down. They better shut it fucking down. But what I'm going to do is get the police to contact them and tell them, shut it down.
Yeah.
And, I'm only asking them to memorialize it, which means they lock it so you can't post. I'm not going to. So what they're scared of is, like you're going to fake it and you're going to tell them, oh, shut, this guy died and he really didn't die. Well, let's say that I did that. What's so hard? If somebody tried to pull a gag like that, the person says, no, I'm still alive. And then they unlock the page. I'm not telling them to delete the shit that's there, but there's so much shit. And like, I'm sorry for yelling, but like I'm going through, I'm sad one minute, and then the next minute you want to break somebody's neck, because you're so pissed off. And I mean, this is going to sound strange, but if the police would have came here and said, we're sorry, your son's deceased, he got in a car accident. Or even, your son's deceased, he overdosed, or something like that, right?
That's quick closure.
But when they were murdered,
this is a way that's
fucking
still
level.
Going.
Yeah, it's a whole nother level. I mean, when somebody was murdered, it's like, Jesus Christ. I mean,
Election day 2008, my girlfriend's daughter was killed in a head-on. She was 3 months pregnant, and her fiance was killed too. His head was embedded in the engine of the Kenworth, and the front wheels of their Jeep was up against the back wheels. Damn. Yeah, I answered the door when the troopers came to the door, and I had to wake her up. And when I answered the door, and I knew she was late getting back home, and I said, "This is about Dotsie, isn't it?" And they said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, she's sleeping. I'll wake her up."
Yeah, it's tough, Bill. By the way, 5-leaf. That's exactly what I think happened.
There's only probably like 5 or 7 people in the chat anyway. I mean,
well, 5-leaf in the chat said that when he once had a car stolen, one of his drug friends had a car stolen by some crackhead back in 1992. And then they ended up pulling a crew up to go to the dealer's house to get the car back. That's kind of what I think happened here. Except what I think happened, it wasn't a drug dealer. I think what happened is he was set up, and they had his car at a place, and they wanted him, hey, come get the car. And as soon as he showed up to get the car, ambush, and I have no idea what they did to him, but ultimately it killed him. And then like I'm saying, nobody knows. Like I don't even know where the fuck that road is that they're showing on the news. You'd have to live there to say, oh yeah. Oh, because I mean, come on, if you didn't know the area and you're driving down the road, why would you say, let's pick this road? There's obviously a farm at the end of the road. You would have to know that like nobody travels that road.
Yep.
And if you look back in April, three teenagers were killed in that same area in April.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, they have a big drug rings all over the place in Ocala.
Up there. Wow. Isn't that where the university's there, isn't it? Or
I don't know. That's where John Travolta lives.
Still north of Ocala.
John Travolta lives there.
I used to go to parties, and they had big festivals and parades and shit in Mount Dora.
Okay.
Yeah, you go to Mount Dora and the lake and stuff. And then this guy Ernie Lancaster. He's a guitar player for Root Boy Slim and stuff like that.
By the way, Trusted, are you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, sorry for talking. So I know I said I was going to give you a buzz today. I didn't. I was so busy. I worked on that video, and then like I had to talk to like a bunch of people and a detective. I mean, I don't know that the detective's going to do any work for me. but he reached out to me and he was talking to me about various things, what the process is and stuff, trying to comfort me because I don't know what the hell's going on. That
Right.
detective, incidentally, is Forrest Fenn's detective.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he reached out. Well, I mean, I'm kind of friends with him. So is Bill. Bill knows who I'm talking about. If you
Yeah,
ran if you ran a Facebook group or a forum, he was
I know
always there.
I know who you're talking about, Troy. It's the guy that took the picture of the hat doffing in the hand of God.
He
Offering the olive branch hand symbol.
yeah, you know who I'm talking about. But yeah, he's. I'm going to talk to him on Monday. But I've been talking to him for like the same like Bill, man, probably since 2017. Anytime you ran a board, he was there. He doesn't hide what he is, but he wanted to hang out in the background to make sure no nut jobs were going to come after Forrest or his family. So he said, please don't block me out of it, because I was going to kick anybody that didn't post out of the group. And then I confirmed it with Bill Gorman. Actually, I'm like, Bill, is this guy for real? And he goes, yeah. So I actually called him up years ago, and he goes, yeah, I'm for real. But incidentally, that's who's Pueblo I'm going on.
So,
But anyway, he's gonna talk to me. I don't know what he's gonna. If there's anything, I don't think there's much he could do. I mean, he crisis in Santa Fe or Albuquerque, but it's cool that he reached out to me. I mean, so it does good to put the video out there in the community. But because I wasn't expecting something like that, so it's just good to be able to bounce things off him, and he'll tell me, oh yeah, that's normal, or detective will do this, because I'm trying to help them, but I don't want to make it sound like I'm trying to do the detective's job. It's hard in my position now. Like I feel like I've been up all night every day, and I'm trying to like research and track things down, and
They have this complex that it's their case.
yeah.
It's their case. You just happen to be the guy's father, but it's their case.
So,
they don't have empathy.
Well, no, they do. But no, Bill, wasn't that. It's not like that. I'm just saying, I was trying to tell them, look, I know I'm coming off as authoritative, but one, that's my son. And two, I said, that's the way I work, and that's the way I am. I said, I'm going to do my research. That's what I do. And I said, I'm certainly, and I mean, I'm sure any parent would do that if it happened to them and they were in my situation. I'm not going to stop. And I told them what I'm trying to do.
Rock.
Yeah. And I want to make sure that they get the information. I'm not using it myself. I'm not going to go out in the field and pretend I'm a law enforcement. What I'm trying to do is talk to everybody that I know associated with Wayne, because he's not here to tell them his story. But I know who he talked to. My wife knows who he talked to. My niece knows who he talked to. So I know people that were his age that are in my family that talk to him routinely, up to and including a couple hours before he was killed. And I just want to make sure that the detectives are aware of all of that, because they would have no idea. They don't know who my niece is and who he talked. How would they possibly know that?
Or the conversation that they had, was there something mentioned in between those conversations throughout the day with these people?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Some of the stuff that they were telling me is unbelievable, and I don't want to relay it here, because I don't trust you guys, but there's people that listen, and some of his friends know about the Forrest Fenn thing, and they know I had a YouTube channel. So I just don't want anything getting out there, But his friends, for the most part, have been really helpful. And I mean, the detectives already talked to them all on the phone, and they want the person found just like I do. That's why they posted the text message and all of that. They're not, don't get me wrong, I don't think any of his friends are suspects. I think it's more like an acquaintance, is what I'm saying, in my opinion.
You're neural networking a solution and a problem-solving method to narrow down his possibilities of who he talked to, when he talked to, where he was, to help pinpoint down what happened. And you're doing it the right way, like you're doing it. I'm really proud
Yeah. No,
of you.
the cop knows that I talked to the media. He knows I made that video. I told him I was going to do it. I said I'm not going to be quiet, but I was going to make like another video, and I'm not going to do that when my daughter talked me out of it. I just wanted to do. I mean, everything I had to say was in that video, and like I told the guy in his, I don't really have any information. Like the police don't tell me anything, so they probably know everything that I know already, except for the text message stuff. But I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
put that out.
Yeah.
Because that's. I don't want anybody to see all what I know and what I gave to the detectives. Now, the detective told me they already had a lot of it, and he also told me, like I said, some of the information that I gave them, they know. He told me it's wrong, but he said I can't tell you why it's wrong or how I know that, but it's wrong. And so what that means is some of the people are telling him stuff that's not correct. Now, I don't think the guy that put the text message, I don't think he's one of them, though. That's got to be probably one of the people that I would trust for sure. And I don't really know all his friends all that well. But yeah, I mean, if you did something, you would not do the kind of stuff that he's doing and the things that he's saying. And like the last thing that he talked about with him and all of that, you would not do that if you were the one that had anything to do with the crime. So, but yeah, so that's where it's at, man. But like, I talked to my partner in Wyoming, the search partner, and he told me, he goes, you don't like sit at your computer all day long and try to research this. He goes, play a game or do something. And he goes, don't, it's like my wife went back to work today.
Well, that's what I was about to ask you was, what do you play D4 on?
No, I play it on my laptop, my computer. By the way, like I said, my wife went back to work because when she was home, all she was doing was looking at pictures and going through and crying and that's like the worst thing you could do. So she went to work, and then everybody at work was like, "Why are you here?" She's like, "Because I can't sit home and think about it all the time."
Keep your mind active.
It's rough on women. It ended the relationship when my ex's daughter got killed. She lost her mind.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, my wife and I mean, this is, I'm not going to say, like, I mean, we knew that something, not this.
Right.
I mean, because, I mean, you know what I'm talking about, Kiwi, because I talked to, I believe. Yeah. So, I'm not talking about, murder or killing or dying or nothing like that. I'm just saying it's just, the way he was irresponsible. I mean, he was trying to get things back together, but and he was doing a pretty good job. But I would have taken it to the next step. But I can't tell a 40-year-old what to do. And what I mean by that is I would have not hung around with any of those people. You got it. I tried to explain it to him that you hang around with people that you want to emulate, that you want to follow their goal. In other words, if you hang around with an idiot, then you're going to be an idiot, But if your goal is to be a success, and like Forrest Fenn would say, if you want to be a painter, hang around with a real painter and do what they do, So he liked welding and he liked fixing and building things. So I told him that he had some friends that were like auto mechanics and stuff, and they needed a welder. And they're like, would you do some welding jobs? And I told them, that's what you should do. You should work with some people like that. Like, they had like a small business they would do. And then I said, you could do trailer repairs on the side when you're not working your full-time job. And he was starting to get back and do that. As a matter of fact, he was doing exactly that with the welding. He had a job at making trailers. And then on his off time, he would help out this friend of his, and he would do the welding jobs, and the guy would do the mechanic work. But I mean, you can make some really good money as a welder. He's been doing it for a long time, but you know, it's hard. You can't just go to somebody and say, hey, you know what? Get to find all the new friends. And I'm saying that lately. I don't mean that he should have found all new friends, but some of the people, you know, I mean, but like my
And
partner
product of
said,
your society, I mean, part of that is the people who you let into your universe. You know what I mean? Like you said, you let a bad person in. I mean, part of that's gonna rub off. You let a good person in, part of that's gonna rub off. You know.
yeah, yeah. So like I said, I don't. I mean, I just I don't know. I mean, obviously this was completely unexpected, and you know, you start to try to blame yourself, but I think I'm beyond that. I think because the troubles have been going on for so long, it you know, if what I think happened is what happened, he could have prevented it. I'm just going to put it that way.
Yeah, by
But he
not even
just did
going for
not.
his car.
Right. He didn't want to fucking listen. I mean, like I can hear my wife would talk to him all the time. Right. And I would talk to him a couple times a week. Like I said, I just seen him 2 weeks ago when he was at the house. But I overhear what he's saying to my wife, and I would start yelling, like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, and then he would hang up on my wife and he'd get pissed. I don't tell me what to do. And, you know, he just said, I don't want to listen. And I mean, he's 30, 40 years old. I
Yep.
can't tell him, so, he's going to do what he's going to do. Pay the
Can't feel
ultimate fucking
guilty.
price.
You can't feel guilty for his choices. You
Do
know.
you have other kids, Troy?
Yeah, I got a daughter. I had a son and a daughter. That was it.
Good, because the one thing that will straighten out your if it's too much for your wife, one thing that straightens out is making her grandma.
Yeah,
That's what straightened out my ex. She
already is. I mean, we got grandchildren that are. Oh yeah,
all healed. She's pretty much healed now.
Yeah, we already do. I mean, we got my daughter. I mean, she's doing very well. I mean, she owns like 3 or 4 houses, and she has a really good job. She flies all around the country and doing all kinds of work for that.
A new one just boosts it shifts the attention.
Yeah, she got 4 kids, and I mean, they're old. Well, one of them's driving already. Her kids, so.
I almost want to go Liam Neeson on the situation. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Actually,
well, I mean the everything you just said. I mean, it like points down to like a specific point, a place, and it's like Liam Neeson, man. Let's grab some knives, a couple guns, go in there and just handle business. Handle business.
Yeah, that would be my old way of thinking. Like if I was in my 20s and 30s, I wouldn't do something like that now. That would be the kind of thing he would do. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to do that. That would, I mean, that would,
no,
that
but
would,
it's just
that would,
thought. You know what I mean? That would make for a good movie. That would make for a good
oh
movie.
Yeah, I mean, of course,
like the dad goes in there and he's fucking like, motherfucker.
Yeah, but you also can get yourself in a lot of fucking trouble, man.
Yeah, vigilante stuff.
Yeah, you don't want to. I mean, the other thing is you don't really have any facts. You can't just go like I have assumptions, and I already told the police what my assumptions are. I could be wrong. I'm not going to go.
You've seen that movie Taken, right?
No.
No, you've never seen Taken?
I don't. I might have, but maybe I just don't remember it.
Oh, well, yeah, it's kind of what I was talking about.
Oh,
watch
yeah,
it,
no,
on your spare time. Oh,
yeah, no, but
does the computer cross over to the PlayStation or no?
Well, the PlayStation players are on the same servers as the PC. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Like when you play, I can group up with you.
Sweet. So when I start a character, you can You know, as the old saying goes, speed run.
Yeah, all you gotta do is make characters stand at the beginning of the dungeon, and I can go wipe out a level 80 dungeon, and you'd be like level 50 in about 10 minutes.
I love it, dude. So that'd be a spare time thing for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, I
So
actually
we could do some quests and stuff together, right?
well, there's no quests. I mean, it's Diablo. It's you go out and just kill shit.
Right. That's more fun anyway.
Yeah, I played a little bit today. Because like I said, I got it. I mean, I got a big. I only been
I'm-
sleeping like an hour or two, and then I get up and I get the computer and I start. I got like a notepad in the computer. I got like notes, like pages and pages. I'm talking to everybody that I know that in my family or anybody associated with him, with the exception of his friends, except for the ones that were on Facebook. And I'm kind of doing
Yeah.
like my own analysis and making notes and with trying to do a timeline of where he was. And it's just people are telling me I'm going to drive myself nuts doing it because, it was fun to do that kind of stuff in a treasure hunt. But here, I don't have all the information. I wasn't boots on the ground. I don't know what happened to him. I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not in any real position to do that. So all I'm trying to do is make sure that I can help attract people to call Crime Stoppers if they do know something. And I'm
Right.
also trying to make sure that the police are aware.
Somebody had to have
Okay.
heard the gunshot somewhere.
I don't even know if he was shot. That's the thing. I don't know. I know the guy says it in the news. Yeah, I've seen. But I was talking to somebody about this
Well,
now.
if there was a gunshot,
Well, yeah, I mean, there's gravel and stuff on the road. If you kick somebody out of a car and they hit their head, gravel will make. Did you ever get like gravel in your hand or something that makes like a puncture wound and all of that?
oh
Like,
yeah, that shit
so,
hurts.
so
You still got
I
it in you.
I don't know. That's kind of the point. I know the guy who found the body said that it looked like he had a gunshot wound to the head, but we don't know. I don't really know that, so I'm not going to speculate it. Could it be? Yeah, I mean, I'll eventually find out, but I don't. I actually don't want to know. I don't for a couple of reasons. One, I can't even. I don't want to. Certainly don't want to see any pictures of it. But second of all, I don't want to accidentally slip up and tell somebody something that I shouldn't say. So I
That
completely,
might
like
not
I
even
said,
be true.
right. And I mean, I don't want to put anything out there that's incorrect or that could jeopardize anything. So I'm glad that they don't tell me the details. The only thing, like I said, that I'm sure that I want to do, because they don't know my son. I do, and my wife does, and my niece does. They talk to him almost on a daily basis. They know a lot more than what his friends know, and I just want to make sure that they contact the detectives and tell what they told me. Tell it to the detective. Don't tell it to me.
Yeah.
And I want the detective to interview them. You know what I mean? I want to make sure they get all the knowledge. I don't want to be sitting here a month from now and go, "Oh, I wish I would have told them that."
Yeah.
I'm telling them everything, every single thing I know. Because any little thing, even if it's something I can't prove, I'll let them figure it out. I just want to make sure they have all the information they need.
All it takes is a single word to change it. You know what I mean? And that's somebody speaking up.
Yeah. So I just want to make it clear that they're doing their job. They're doing their job. When I talked about the medical examiner and
That's really cool.
The victim advocate, those are the people. The victim advocates in Marion County have not reached out to me, and they should have. But that has nothing to do with the sheriff per se, and certainly not the detectives. But they should have reached out, at least initial contact. You know what I mean? I mean, come on, we're talking about my kid was killed. Now, one of the things though, that's kind of like, imagine being like, I'm sure they have a lot of cases.
Well, where was he residence of?
Ocala. You there?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ocala, right where it says. I mean, he didn't live anywhere where they found the body. Yeah, somebody on my Facebook page said, "Yeah, where did he live?" So I could, because I know somebody lives there, and I said, "I'm not, I can't tell you that." You know, I'm not going to tell him where he lived. Obviously, they could probably find out that the news went to his house, and I guess they talked to the person that he was at his house that he lived in. It's not his house. You know, he had like a roommate, but no, I don't know what to do, but I'm like I said, I'm trying to. That's why I seen you, Ron. I figured I would call in for a while. I don't know if I'm ever going to go live again. I don't know. I'm really, now that this happened, like I got so much shit on my mind. I'm like, I don't need it. There's really nothing to discuss with Forrest Fenn, and you know, until something comes out, there's nothing. The audio.
And he's got a new mission now.
The audio thing with Shiloh, I don't really care. That's meaningless.
I'm still trying to get a hold of Rachel Conyer or something like that up there at Yellowstone so I can get permission to film in there. I don't see why a single person shouldn't be able to film or two people shouldn't be able to film.
You can film as long as if it's not for commercial purposes. Right. Bill? Like Bill took pictures. You could take it.
Well, I mean, I want to fly my drone in there.
Well, that you can't do. That you need permission to buy. That's illegal. Well, if you look at the FOIA requests that I reviewed, somebody actually did that, and they got fined for it because they looked at, they were dumb enough to send the footage in there. Because they said, oh well, we'll just do it outside the park, and they sent it right over to.
That's why I'm trying to get permission.
You have to be at least 4 miles from the West Yellowstone Airport.
Oh, okay. Do you? Yeah.
Yeah, you can't fly your drone within 4 miles of an airport.
Well, how the hell were they flying over by Baker's Hole then, Bill?
Here's the thing is, if you have a drone that is within a certain weight class, you don't have to follow the FAA regulations. And having a drone that falls underneath that weight class, which I have, I should be allowed to fly low-flying aerial shots of rivers flowing along the
tie a camera to Kiwi. Tie a camera to Kiwi. Tie a camera to Kiwi.
Drones that looks like a bird with flapping wings. I see them at the beach in Oregon, and they fly this pattern. They just do a pattern, and they're just a surveillance drone watching the people on the beach.
Huh.
So, Bill, congratulations on the that documentary you were on.
Thanks. That was I was adjusting. I was trying to record it off my screen with my camera, and I was aligning the camera when the early shot was on there, and I missed it, and I didn't realize that was me talking until I went and watched the replay. But
let me say one thing though. The 5-leaf, 5-leaf. That believe me, that thought runs through my mind. But here's the deal, right? Let's say that it was related to that type of a thing, right? So you go and you start trouble like that. You make sure you nail that person, and they get him, and they get arrested, and they're in jail. Well, guess what? They have friends outside the jail. And when they tell their friends outside the jail, if you have family members like your wife that's traveling to work and going on, you could put your family at risk. Yep. You know what I mean? So as much as I would like, because I don't care. And I mean, I told the cop, I'm like, if anybody ever broke into my house, they will leave in a body bag. And the cop goes, yeah, I don't blame you. And I mean, that's perfectly legal. I said, don't get me wrong. I'm not armed. I'm not a vigilante and all that, but I am going to protect my family and my house. And I mean, they're not going to leave, but I don't, I'm not going to go out and look for trouble. I don't want any trouble around here. That was one of the things I was concerned with, because I told the police, I said, I don't know, because you're not telling me why or what happened. Is there anything that I need to be fearful of? I mean, he didn't live here. He didn't live here. But do I need to worry about people showing up here?
Man, these are good questions.
Right, but they can't.
Where's his wallet? Was his wallet on him?
Well, they won't tell me. They won't tell me.
You know, so there's information with all that stuff. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, they won't tell me. The only thing they did say is they did how they
I'm really sorry that this happened to you, brother. I mean, the only thing I can say is I hope that your son now is in the paradise that he was trying to make.
Yeah,
You know, that's all I can say is I hope he's in the paradise he was trying to make.
yeah. That's what my wife. That's what I told my wife. I mean, I mean, a lot of people, if they listen to this, I just want to thank them for reaching out. Like, I mean, like you reached out, Kiwi, and then Trusted actually called me. I was like, whoa! I almost dropped the phone. I'm like, who the hell is this? And I answer the phone, and it's Trusted. I hear his voice. I'm like, holy crap! Because he doesn't call anybody. But Trusted called me, and he talked to me about a lot because he has similar experience. Street replied back to me, K Pro, Pam Shetron, Ramblin' Pam, Sacha, Jason, and then of course the people in the forums, Five Leaf, Davey B, Paul, I mean a lot of people. Even Chase Landia, who I don't really get along with, he came on my channel and offered condolences, and Lou Lee, and and then apparently Ben was talking about it on his live show, and the people in the chat were talking about it. And I was in the chat very briefly that yesterday when Jeremy was drawing. I was in his chat room, but very brief though. I was just waiting for my wife to get home, and when she got home, I stopped chatting with him. But I needed to get away from it. That's why I called in here. I can't. I mean, this happened. Like you figure. Let's put it this way. They woke me up 5:30.
History books I found.
Yeah, they woke me up at 5:30 in the morning, Kiwi, and I've been at it almost constantly on this case.
Oh, I believe it.
The art of Charlotte.
I believe it.
He's one of my ancestors. That's why I'm laughing.
You saying that's one of your ancestors?
Yeah, Charlemagne. He killed a lot of people. All of these people that they put up, they killed a lot of people. That's why they were in power.
So, Bill, how was the Greece? How was the Greece trip overall? Like, would you want to go back there? You like it?
You can get an apartment, a 1-bedroom apartment for $450 a month, and you can get a brat on a flat bun, like that big, just a split brat with veggies and stuff, and toasted, and with a Coke for $2.50.
That's it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That'll be like $10 here, probably.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Living in the wrong place.
Find a way to. I don't know if they got a VA, and do they got VAs in like Germany?
I don't know, but you know what the thing is, you're
they
retired.
would have at least military base you then.
Well, Bill, you're retired, but you got to imagine if you're like not retired, their wages are probably a lot lower there, though. So even though the things might be cheap, if you here, you know what I mean? Like they don't make that much money. Like I was listening to that guy in Russia, man. They make like $200 a week or something. Well, I mean, it's outrageous how.
Live better over there being retired on Social Security than I can living here.
But that's a good question, Bill. Could you actually leave the country and still collect Social Security?
You should be able to.
Yeah.
As long as you remain a citizen, right?
Yeah, and I think you can go to Greece for 6 months.
You can have like dual citizenship, can't you?
You can go to Australia for like a year.
No, Bill, you got to go to Poland, man. You got to hook up with that woman that you found.
I don't have any way to get a hold of her.
Oh, you know, I thought you could exchange information.
Huh?
I thought you exchanged information with her.
I gave her information. She didn't give me hers.
Oh, okay.
Contact me, and didn't happen.
I think that was funny, man. You took a picture with the church behind you. That was hilarious.
Yeah, there's the church. Yeah, we're already at the chapel.
That was cool, though. That must have been really cool to be around all that old stuff.
My wife wants to. Go ahead.
That's on top of Leviticus Hill. It overlooks. It's like twice as high as the Acropolis. He looks down on it. And
oh, really?
I was walking. Okay, talking about CIA and all that shit, right? I'm walking back to the hotel, which is from the Matasaki Square or whatever. It's below the Acropolis. It's like a third of a mile from my hotel, straight down into the square. And you want to take that road because some of the back roads are kind of on Street View. There's a guy doing a line off the curb, but anyhow, but so I was walking back from the square, walking back to my hotel, and I started, and I have my Nikon, and this guy with a Sony Alpha comes up, and there's Nikon P900. I said, no, P950. Ah, okay, yeah. So you got a Sony Alpha? I got one of those, and whatever. And I said, where are you from? He says, Lebanon. I asked him, were you in Beirut when the explosion went off? And he said, yeah, he was there when it went off and shit. So I'm talking to this guy that whole third of a mile down this artery, straight up to the other square where my hotel was. And I'm talking to him all the way up there, and I tell him about the praying hands on the building across the street from the hotel. There's praying hands aimed down toward the street, on the side of the building. And I said that's a great picture, and I got some pictures of that day before or whatever.
Yeah, I watched that show, Bill. I like those pictures. I did watch it. I mean, I know I messed around with you and we went back and forth with each other, but I enjoyed watching your pictures. I thought that was great. I mean, I wish I was able to go to someplace like Greece. That's really cool that you were able to do that, man.
Yeah, he wanted me to show him where these hands were on the building praying, because he didn't know where it was, right? And I said, oh, it's right across from my hotel, and I took him and I showed him, and I said, it's right up there. And he took a couple pictures. I went in the hotel and I'm waiting for the elevator, and he comes in and gets his key. He's in the same freaking hotel.
Oh, by the way, before I forget, I want to say something really cool. Who what Eric Johnson? It is what it is.
Yeah.
The guy we wear like 2 or 3 pairs of glasses, Yeah, he reached out to me. I reached out. I sent him a link to the video on Facebook, and he actually replied back to me. Him and I got into an argument, but he's talking to me now. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if he's going to be doing any more videos or if he bothers listening to the community. You know what I'm talking about, right, Huey? The guy is a channel, IIWII. It is what it is.
Is what it is.
I mean, I've heard people,
He used to wear like 2 pairs of glasses. He had the cat. He had a cat that would always bother him.
Big box that he hid in the bushes and he couldn't find it.
Yeah, that was funny, Bill.
No.
Yeah, he made a fake treasure chest and he threw it in the woods and he couldn't find the fake treasure chest. And he's the one that
No, I have to check him out.
I think this might be Alice in Wonderland. Look at that ghoul over the top.
Be.
Yeah, that might be Alice in Wonderland. I made that from one of my rock pictures.
I'll be right back. I'm going to go smoke, but I'm not going to be here that long, maybe 5 more minutes. I want to give Trusted a chance to talk. I was talk
about
so
that
much.
Trusted about how his plants are doing.
Yeah, I'll listen to Trusted and you guys. I'll be right back.
No worries. Take your time.
Yeah, plants are doing good. I did an update. I made a video update today. Yeah, I was just walking over to stop making some food. But
Food, that's a good idea.
I don't really
No,
have
that's a
anything
bad
on my
idea.
mind to talk about. I'm glad Troy showed up to give him a chance to talk, and
Yeah,
you
me
know,
too.
doing things are important, especially doing other things other than looking at the horrible situation that had just happened.
Yeah, a positive time consumer, you know.
Yes, yes, it's a difficult thing to deal with. I mean, heck, I had to deal with it when my brother was killed. All the questions that come up, it's a difficult thing. Uh, People get stressed out over it. They start having problems with dealing with other things that are going on in life. They don't view things the same. They can
Nope.
get irritable, and they can cause health issues. So there's a lot of things that can happen outside of the initial horror of what happened.
And and it almost makes me wonder, and I don't mean this in any way, um, however this may come across, I guess, but like it almost makes me wonder if it's because it's hard to let go of that control, maybe the control of the emotion, the control of maybe you could have done something different, maybe the control of you wish something different happened, that there was no control that you could have done, you know. If that's like one of the biggest things that people hold on to. I mean, I haven't lost, and
Like
I hope not anytime soon, but I just, I don't know,
the
I
re-
wonder.
remake of the Time Machine. No matter how far back he went, he still lost his love. He couldn't save her from getting run over by the horse and buggy.
I mean,
There was always something that stopped him. Or it's like when you're trying to get somewhere and there's always somebody in front of you that won't let you get where you're going. You know, you hit every red light.
I
I don't know.
well, I
It's
just,
just when a loved one is killed, there's always questions that come up. There's always dealing with assignment of blame, and then some people blame things on themselves that they really shouldn't be. But it's just a total emotional burst that's going on, and people feel differently about things that they normally feel about. They
because
become
didn't you just lose your brother like
sensitive
a year ago?
things that they weren't sensitive to before. They become sensitive of things, and it's an emotional roller coaster, and it lasts a minimum of 6 months, and that's if there's closure that takes place. If closure doesn't take place, it can go on indefinitely. That's why, the biggest thing that I hope for is quick closure for Troy and his family.
Yeah, you
So
nailed
they
it,
can
Justin,
find
because that's the
peace.
thing. That's the thing. What's running through my mind. Well, I mean, obviously, you got the grief, but really sad. But then you start blaming yourself. You're like, well, what if he would have lived here? But I mean, he's a 40-year-old guy, so I try to rationalize myself. I'm like, he's not going to be living here. He's 40 years old. He's going to be on his own. And you start looking at, well, anything I could have done, and so you kind of go into like the self blame. And then the big thing, of course, is anger. Yeah, obviously you want revenge. You want, and I'm not talking about, like I said, vigilante. I'm saying I want to see the person found, arrested, convicted, and sentenced. That's what I want. I'm not, but so you got anger, obviously you would hope that the sentence would be put him in a room with the family members for a week. and let the family members do it. But I mean, and then the other thing is, like you say, I mean, I'm constantly saying, did I tell the detective everything? Is there anything else I could find? And you're trying to build timelines and do all these things. And it's just, I mean, I got to the point where like I was having difficulty breathing. I thought I was gonna have a friggin' heart attack, man. And then when you go outside, like when it's dark, when I'm outside smoking or whatever, you hear like a squirrel or something walking in the leaves, and you're like jumpy because you think,
Yep.
I mean, I wouldn't
life's
risk this
changed
on
now.
anybody. Yeah, I mean, I mean, obviously, I can't compare it before this because I had nothing to measure with. But that's why I said earlier, if they would have came and said he was killed like in a car accident, it would be easier to deal with that. The big thing with the murder is just not knowing. I mean, I feel like I'm an outsider, like I don't know what's going on, and that's why the people were trying to calm me down. They're like, they're not going to tell you until the investigation's over because they can't. And I do understand that, but but you're sitting there and you're like, yeah, but it's like, come on, like every minute you would think, and it's probably what is happening. It's not the same person working on it. Them guys don't like just stop working. You know what I mean? They have shifts and they have different people, multiple people assigned a case. I don't know how many murders they got there. It's not like New York City, but
well, I think with what you did is you made it simple where people, if they knew something, you gave them a place to contact and who to talk to. So
well, that's all I can do.
Getting across.
Yeah, that's all I can do. I mean, honestly,
a billboard.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't have any information. I don't know. I mean, he was 2 hours away from me. I didn't live with him. I don't know. I talked to him. Well, I can hear my wife talk to him like every other day. She would talk to him briefly for about 4 or 5 minutes, and sometimes he would talk to me on Facebook. I didn't talk to him maybe once a week. I seen him 2 weeks ago. So I mean, but his friends and people that are closer to his age. That's why I said my niece and other people that are in their late 30s or 40s that he associated with are going to know a lot more about him at this point than I do. And all I'm trying to do is provide the avenue for them people to be able to reach out to Crime Stoppers. That's all I'm trying to do. Yep. That's why I put the video out there. I'm not trying to do anything else. You'll even notice that I don't mention Forrest Fenn in the title. I don't have my subscribe at the end, my link to my solve and all of that, because I don't want to make people think, I'm trying to get. No, I mean, because I wanted to leave it in a state where it's 100% focused on him. I made
this is serious. This is serious.
Right.
This is serious. This ain't no game. This is a loved one who's passed onto their dream. This ain't no. Yeah.
By the way, I know Granite Granny put out the 2 video clips, but he didn't know that it was my son. He was speculating that it might have been. He didn't do. I believe he didn't do that to like make fun of it, because I read his comments in there and I replied on the video and I said, "Yeah, that is my son." That was another reason why I made the video, because I don't want people to have to guess and I'm going to be Mr. Detective and look at the news. I just wanted to clarify. Yes, that news story was about him.
Yeah.
And then obviously I released the name and they're saying Wayne Barlow. So they got the same last name as me. You want to know something else that kind of annoyed me a little bit, but I guess not too much. Now keep in mind, this is a fucking detective, right?
Right.
He's talking to me. He goes, "So you're the stepfather, right?"
I am. Are you?
And I said, dude, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, you're a detective.
Really?
I said, I've been married for 42 years. How hard is it to look up my marriage record and see that my son was born 2 years after we were married and he's got the same fucking name? So unless you're allowed to have kids while you're in wedlock with other partners, and that's legal, obviously he's my biological son. But I told him, I said, all right, so I won't be that mad because it doesn't really pertain to the case. But he goes, yeah, that was just wrong information that somebody gave me. I'm like, oh, whoever gave that to you has got to be an idiot. They should fire him. How could you not? That's like one of the easiest things to look up. Whether or not he's my bucket. I mean, think about this, because obviously, they probably considered would a parent be a suspect. You know what I mean? So they probably. I mean, it's bad to say that, but I'm sure they consider that in all murder cases. So you would think that they would do due diligence and look through and say, at least see, yeah, he's the biological father. Because if it was a step parent, yeah, I could see that. Especially if you weren't married for 42 years to the same person like me. A lot of times, you know how somebody might get divorced and then they remarry and they're only married for like 2 years, but maybe you don't like your spouse's kid because it's a hindrance. You know what I mean? So, but obviously, I mean, he's my real son. Obviously, that's not what occurred here. And you would think a detective would know better. But he didn't do the research. I guess they have somebody doing some research like that, just record lookup. But I'm like, Jesus, nobody can hire to find out where I'm married. I said, I told them where my son was born. I said, I'll tell you what hospital he was at, where he was. No, I don't have his birth certificate. He's got it, or he had it. I don't have it.
You know about the other Wayne Barlow?
There's a lot of Barlows that are not related to me.
Barlow would be with an E after the W. An American science fiction, fantasy writer, painter, and concept artist. The guy did Avatar and Galaxy Quest, Aquaman, Pacific Rim, Hellboy, the concept art for those.
Yeah, there's a newscaster, or what do you call him? A reporter in Minnesota that's got the name Ken Barlow, I think, but he's not related. My real last name was not Barlow.
Yeah, sure. Somebody just took the E off in your family.
No, it wasn't. No, I on Facebook I put the E there. But I have Facebook. Well, Facebook thinks I'm gay and I'm a Biden fan, and like I purposely put misleading shit there, and I put the 1 week I'll have the LGBT flag flying, and like they don't have any idea. I want their records to be all fucked up on me on purpose,
right?
So I think I'm 100 years old,
The composer doesn't have the E.
But no, I mean you could take my real last name doesn't not even close to Barlow, not even close.
Like it probably was originally like Bartow.
No, BAR was not even part of it. But I mean they changed it when they came here from Sicily. I don't have anybody that was in the United States before the 1900 because, well, my understanding is they did a lot because it had a stigma by being like an Italian name.
Marlowe.
Yeah, right. They changed it at Ellis Island, so I don't have any relatives that were here before the 1900s. So I guess that means I don't need to pay any. What do you call it?
Retribution?
I don't know, money for the slavery and all that. I didn't own any slaves. I wasn't even in the United States.
I got 4 ancestors in the north.
What is that word?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. The people want money because of their ancestors. Whatever.
Not retribution, but
reparations for Facebook jail.
Reparation.
Yeah. Oh yeah, hey Bill. Bill. Here's another thing. That now that you bring that up, on Facebook, I posted. Okay, now I posted a picture of my son, and I posted a link to the article. He's murdered, right?
Yep.
So on the title of my post, I put, now I want to see these, whoever it was, brought to justice. I want to see them arrested, prosecuted, convicted, and get sentenced to death. They were going to ban me for inciting violence by saying I want the death sentence.
Yeah.
You should see the mess I said back. I said, you motherfuckers. I said, go look up the fucking law. That's the law in Florida. They have the death sentence. They wouldn't let me put the death sentence in there.
I had a request.
That's fucking bullshit. Did you screenshot that shit?
They put it back.
I had a
Very good.
request to share a post from Bill Sullivan that said that he had died in an accident.
And they blocked you for they
Link, and I screenshotted
Oh
it.
shit.
I
15%, fellas.
posted the screenshot back to Bill Sullivan's Facebook page, and I got I'm still in Facebook jail, and I can't post in groups.
That's right. Yeah, you do. Bill's funny, man. Bill's got like 4 accounts on Facebook. He goes, Troy, he sent me a message. Troy, this is me, Bill. I'm blocked. And he had like another guy. I have to have multiple because they would block his forum and he couldn't control his forum because Bill's got a Facebook group.
I can't unlock that unless I could get the person with my old phone number to let me in.
They won't.
Good
They
luck.
don't know it's you. You can't call it. You can't tell them you changed phones.
They'll only send the message to my old phone number. Won't let me fix it.
So you got a group that you can't maintain.
Uh-oh.
My original YouTube page and my my other fictitious Facebook one, but to as my backup administrator when I'm on Facebook jail for my regular.
Trusted. You had that problem on YouTube, didn't you? Have an account a long time ago. You can't get access to it now.
Yes.
You had like
Actually, I got a couple of them.
yeah, you can't get
really?
access to it. He has like a lot of video. You said you had a lot of like followers and videos, and
Man,
I wish they had a way to cross-link them, you know what I mean? Like your accounts and link them all together and make them into like one.
Yeah, I think what happened was somebody hacked me and they hacked my email account that I used associated with it and I hadn't used it for quite a long time. When I tried to get in, I couldn't get in because I couldn't get into the email account also, and it wouldn't let me do nothing.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. Huh. What an interesting day.
I sent my 5 terabyte hard drive that wouldn't boot. It wouldn't boot. It just because being on inverters and the power, I wasn't here, and the power was on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, and then it won't boot. So I sent it into the $300 data recovery, and it was going to cost $400 because it was over 2 terabytes, you know. And I sent it with another drive to put it on. Oh, your drive's toast. Can't get anything from it.
oh, that's tough.
5 terabytes
Troy,
of pictures.
that's
Man, was that from that from the treasure hunt, Bill?
Yeah, but a lot of it's on YouTube.
Oh, don't you put some of your images up on the cloud for your business? I mean,
No, that's mostly for sending things through email. You know, the cloud is just somebody else's computer.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm just saying, dude, like this stuff the artwork that you sell. By the way, how did you do at that art show in Colorado?
I picked up before I dropped off, but I got noticed. People noticed it.
That's cool.
nice.
Haven't gotten any emails from anybody about it.
Not yet. You never know. Future's still working.
Yeah.
I did want to thank your son for inspiring me to take the opportunity today to take a bike ride with my stepmom. You know, something I've been promising her to do with her, and realizing how short our time is on life. The effort was made, you know, and I don't think it would have been made so quickly had it not been, you know, for your son. So I wanted to thank your son for that.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, it made
So,
me think about the
thank you.
time.
Thank
It
you,
made
bro.
me think about the time, like wasted. Now that the chase is over, I'm like, it's got to be. I was thinking maybe when the experience that I go through here, um, like I said, I'm hoping that they have a quick arrest. I really think there will be. I don't think it's going to be that long to get somebody. But when it happens, I was kind of thinking of maybe putting a focus on that and trying to find other victims' families, and then make a channel, and I'll assist them and help them get the word out there, and like in other words, work with other people, like almost like a support group. Not to make money. I'm saying to do it like to donate
Right.
your time. I want to
Right.
be some kind of a victim advocate. Like I want to assist people that
Chain
lost
reaction.
loved ones through violent crimes. I'm thinking
Call
about
it.
doing something like that, something to help people that have.
Call it chain reactions. And
Yeah,
it's a website where people can go and submit where they're having, a loss of a loved one and they're trying to find help, and they can have
yeah,
their own little forms, breaking off and their condolences, and then chaplains can sit there and have their sections where they can offer support. Mental health can come in there and offer their support, and legal, if there's any legal that might be able, like, don't. It's hard to find any legal out there that does anything, pro bono, to help
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't do
the
anything
victims
legal.
get something back as
I
far
wouldn't do
as,
anything legal, but I would just like to kind of support other people that are not just losing a child, but any loved one to a violent crime, um, and support people like that. I would like to do that. But a lot of people,
that would be a cool thing.
like, I mean, I sent the detective like a Word document. I mean, I wrote a fucking document. It looks like I wrote a thesis. I had everything outlined, had a timeline, had names, numbers. Well, a lot of people, and I don't want people to take this the wrong way, but some people might not be that great at writing, or maybe their grammar skills are worse than mine, and they feel like out in the dark and nobody wants to help them. Well, I can be that, show them how to get that voice out there and how to do things, how to get, like, make a video for them that does their case, give them the video for free, and let them
Yeah,
post it on their own YouTube channel or something like that.
there you go.
And just something like that, like a service. Well, I'm not going to charge
Yeah.
anybody anything. You tell me about the murder. Give me the details. I'll put together like a PowerPoint, or I'll put together like some video footage. I'll pack it all up. I'll friggin' put it up on the cloud, let you download it, and there you go. I'll do the work for you. And then you just put it on your YouTube channel or whatever you want to do, Facebook, and pass it around to your friends. Because a lot of people don't know how to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And
The
maybe
bulletin
I was
board.
thinking of myself, yeah, I don't want to do some big blown out thing that I don't have time to do, but I would do something like that. I wouldn't mind helping other people out. And the other thing that's nice about that is it don't matter where they're from. You know what I mean? I don't need to be local to them. And, because a lot of people don't know. And I would just do the same thing like I did in mine, kind of just explain who it was and show whatever pictures they want me to show, give information for the Crime Stopper, put it all there in a nice, 3 or 4 or 5 minute video, and then send it to them. There you go. Do what you want.
That's what I do is I've made not death videos but life videos, celebration of life videos. I've done 2 of those.
Yeah, those cops, you mentioned how they did that. They asked, they couldn't put Barlow and Barlow together. I was going down the main road. It was 2 lanes each way with an island in the middle, in front of the high school on a weekend. And there were some hedges, and this little 9-year-old girl come out from behind the hedges right out into the road. And it's like a 40-mile-an-hour zone, except when it's school, but it was a weekend, so it was a regular 40-mile-an-hour zone. and I hit the brakes. I come to a stop in the crosswalk, but I just clipped her back tire and bent her back rim, and she fell down, and she took off across the street, you know, running and crying. And I said, no, you don't go, because I, if you go, I'm getting in trouble, you know? And she took off, went across the park, right? And so I went and down the street to my friend's place and called the police and told them what happened and stuff, you know? And so their only witness, they call it, you know, had me come into court and stuff. They were going to have a thing, and their only witness was this guy named Ron Gorman. They said, "Where were you when this happened?" "I was sitting in the passenger seat of my brother's car, just to the radio. I didn't even see what happened." So all they had was my story, you know.
How many people are in chat? Because I have no idea.
And they canceled the case. They
One,
didn't
two.
realize that their only witness was my brother.
Right?
Huh? Oh, I don't know. I'd have to switch.
I'm gonna jump off, guys. I gotta get to sleep before I wake my wife up. She's got to go to work at 5 o'clock. So
It says
Right,
19.
Troy.
not yet. Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Kiwi, and thanks, Trusted. Kiwi too. I'll give you a call during the week, or I'll definitely give Trusted a call too, because he called me yesterday. I had to cut him short because he called me and then my wife showed up with food, and I already took my insulin. So I'm like, I gotta go eat. And every time we tried to get at the phone, we kept on talking and talking. So I just want to thank you guys and anybody that's listening. Thanks for the support. And like I said, if you know anybody in Florida, or you have any relatives that may have been in Ocala and may know something, to watch my video, especially the second half of my video, so that you can see what the news story was about. And because I want to just get it out there so that anybody seen anything or heard anything, report it, because time is of the essence, and I don't want this to go on for weeks before an arrest is made. So, but thanks everybody, and I'm gonna jump off. So
I think they'll get
Yeah,
them
I
quick.
posted your video on my community section of my page. So
cool, thanks. Yeah, Trusted did too. Trusted actually posted it up in Canada. Shit, like if Trusted got me going international now. That's cool. So I really appreciate it. Like, and that goes for everybody else that contacted me.
I can sit there and post it down in
That
in that area.
contact I told you about, Troy, is over 100,000.
Oh, nice. Thank you, man.
What I told you about in the email today, over 100,000.
Nice. I really appreciate it, guys. And like I said, it was nice to be able to take, an hour or whatever and get away from that, because I'm driving myself crazy with this. And I think I found about everything that I can possibly find, and I just got to wait now for them. So I hope you guys have a good, have a good weekend, guys. I don't know. Well, if you're celebrating 4th of July over the weekend, don't blow your fingers off.
Yeah, try to get some sleep, Troy.
Yeah, that's what I need, man.
Because you're gonna take something to help you sleep. Try to get some sleep.
That's why I'm getting off now, because what happens is if I stay up, once 3 o'clock rolls around, and because when she's got to be at work at 5, she gets up at like 3:30 in the morning, and I don't want to go strolling in the bedroom at 3 o'clock and wake her up a half hour before she's supposed to get up to go to work. So I got to get in there now. So anyway, I'll talk to you later. See you later, Bill. See you, Kiwi. See you, Justin.
Yep. We'll see you later.
Bye.
So with that, I think I might even call it a night, fellas. I do appreciate you guys coming on. Trusted and Bill.
I'll leave. We can leave with a Forrest Fenn thing about the hat. It's a stovepipe hat, identical to the one that Abe Lincoln had when he was shot in the head. And the drum is what the Indians sent messages with. That told them what to do to retreat, or, village is under attack, come back home, whatever, or attack, or, that's what
But
the drum.
when did the drums give them their position away?
What my
No more than smoke,
great
though, huh?
grandfather played the fife in the Civil War, and the fife and the drum were how they gave orders to the infantry of what maneuver to make. With the drum or the fife, what they were playing told them what to do, and they were loud and they could hear them over the battle, whatever. They
That's
knew
why
it
they
was.
tell you to march to the beat of the drum.
Yeah. So the guys that played the fife and the drums were actually intelligence, because they were sending the communications.
That's right. Interesting, huh?
They knew they were telling them what moves to make. The officer, he tell them what way to go. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really nice.
And then he got shot through the shoulder and crossed and came out his other shoulder. And then he spent a year in the hospital and survived gangrene and lived to be 86.
It's a nice age. It's a nice age.
Was 93? Oh, Clint Eastwood, 93. He's the same age Forrest was.
Clint Eastwood passed away? When did he pass away?
No, he's still alive. It's a
I was
picture
about
of
to
him.
say.
It's at his 93rd birthday.
I was about to say, I didn't know he passed away.
Still going. Yeah, he's still working at 93. You know,
Crazy.
probably got some robot skin on some acting him out. It's like, Forrest Fenn, make my day.
All right, Justin, you got anything last words to say?
Not really, other than good night to Bill and good night to you and good night to Chat. I just finished eating some macaroni salad that I made.
Oh God.
And it was delicious.
I'm getting hungry, dude. I'm getting hungry. I don't want to eat though. It's bad for your acid reflux.
I was hungry. I don't even remember the last time I ate.
Well,
I think it was like 11 o'clock today.
Oh, dang. That was like what? 2.5 hours ago?
No, 11 o'clock in the morning. 11 o'clock in the morning, I had macaroni with Alfredo sauce, meatballs, and
Well, that
yellow
sounds good.
squash out of the garden.
That does not sound good. How'd you do the squash?
Sliced it up, pan fried it with butter, then added it into the other stuff.
Oh, no.
What?
No, you can't add squash to Alfredo.
Of course you can.
No, like, oh. Remember not to eat your Alfredo. I'll have the squash if pan fried. Throw some seasoning on that. I'll eat that. But throwing it inside your it's Alfredo chicken Alfredo or no? You
No,
said
I had
broccoli Alfredo.
meatballs in it and ground beef.
Meatball Alfredo.
Yeah.
Oh God, that sounds so good.
Meatball Alfredo. Yeah.
Meatball and ground beef.
Yeah, because I only had a single package of meatballs last night. I used frozen meatballs, and I had a half a pound of hamburger left over. So I pan fried them both up and just
Oh
threw them both
God.
in there. So
Yeah.
that was leftovers that I added the squash to.
Oh,
But heck yeah, summer squash, you put that in eggs, make an omelet.
what? In your eggs?
Absolutely.
Oh my Lanta.
I put leftover Chinese food in the eggs for omelets.
Absolutely. Hell yeah.
I don't even know about that one. I think you're on your own on that one, Bill.
Yeah, some Mongolian beef in there. It's good.
Oh well, okay, well that's a different question. That's different. I'm
Yeah.
more of the Mongolian chicken. It's hard to find a good Mongolian chicken over here on this, or even a Mongolian barbecue over here on the East Coast.
Just go get a
Kiwi,
Canadian good.
I was gonna tell Troy. You know, I mean, look at me. I'm a 40-something-year-old living at home.
Kiwi,
There's
you're
nothing
not
wrong
one of
with
those
that.
people that have to have on your plate of food different kinds of food all around the plate with an inch and a half spacing between everything. If something touches it, one another, you won't eat it.
Oh, good God, no, man. I'm the one that sits there and I chop it all up and I mix it all up and I shove it in the hole because it's all going down.
Yeah. Well, I do that in the pan.
What's
It's in the
that, Bill?
camp stove. Oop,
Oh, yeah. Your mini
camp.
can stove. That's cool.
You see, it fits in this little can and it hooks up to them little bottles.
Oh, nice.
Is
Yeah,
that
it's a
butane?
There you
propane.
Propane?
The stove is smaller than the bottle.
go.
And it's like a transformer thing. It all unfolds and swings out, and you know.
Nice. I found an old transformer. It doesn't have a date on it.
Oh, don't drink the juice inside.
Why would I drink the juice in the... Not that kind of transformer. Here, let me show you. Matter of fact, I think it's in this box right here. Ah,
PCBs. They're PCBs and transformers.
so there's this transformer here. I'm gonna see if I can't do this. Oh, this. How do I flip the screen on it? Oh, there it is. Oh, Mr. Transformer. Da, 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 da.
Is
You
that
don't have no.
ash?
You don't. You don't have an ash. What ash?
That big black ball of hash there. Oh, that's a handle.
Oh no, the handle for broken thing. But like, oh god, I just broke him. Oh, he fell apart. But he comes apart like right here in the middle. Oh, I just popped him off.
Yep.
You know, and so it's like one of the old
Yes.
rubber transformers.
Oh, rubber. Before they had magnets, huh?
So I wonder how old this guy is. I didn't find a date on it. I mean, I took a picture on the backside, but all it had was like the LTD and something. It needs a cleanup though. Send them back to the machine shop.
Yeah, just put them in the dishwasher.
Pretty much. That's the machine shop. Well, that's cleaning house then. Hey, Transformer, you gotta go to the cleaning house.
Not one of these.
But it was weird because my sister was literally talking to me. She's like, "Oh, them old Transformers, they're mine." And then next thing you know, I find this Transformer that has no date on it.
This will take out your transformer.
Is there a date right there? I mean, not that anybody cares about old Transformers, but
We're that way.
it's antique stuff, right? It come out of a 35-year-old trailer. Head spins and everything. Arms works. Oh, head spinning, legs kicking. No, legs don't kick very well. Legs might pop off. Nope. So yeah, I don't know how old he is. I don't know if anybody in chat knows, but I can't see chat, so I don't know. Everybody probably left anyway. Like nobody
Maybe
wants to. Hey, nice troll.
it's because the trolls on YouTube. It's a clown troll. Notice, yeah, it's a clown.
Yeah, so I'm curious as to like
The Joker.
where would the date be on this guy?
Wait.
And then of course, you know, that's a cute troll. There's a troll over here somewhere. I gotta find them.
It's a Trump
Oh.
troll. It's a Trump troll.
No, I actually got like one of the old trolls, I think. Come here, you. No, this is. No, I don't know what this guy is. Is this guy a troll? Nanco.
Oh.
I'm trying to say. No, it looks like a troll though. But it's like a fuzzy troll. Like a fuzzy troll. But it's not a troll.
There's
Hey,
a
look.
troll.
This guy's taking the escalator. Hurry up, man. You're going to be late to get into the airport. Uh-oh. Hey, can you go downstairs and grab me a couple of root beers?
Oh, speaking of root beer, shit, man.
Oh, steps broke. Why don't you take the elevator up? Make sure you bring up that root beer with you.
There, I got it.
Oh, look at that, bringing up the root beer on the elevator. That's it. There's a mug.
I think I did better.
Oh, what was the other? Oh, if I had a stick, I'd be like, he's canoeing. He's canoeing across the screen.
You gotta have one of these on the key ring for.
I'm down to 5% now.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
That's my sign.
You better
Screen's
charge
getting dark.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Bill. Thanks, Trusted. Thanks, people, for joining this show this evening. Spend time with the people you love is kind of the main basic point I got from the Thrill of the Chase from Forrest Fenn. And so, in doing so, realizing that prospect of death can come at any point in time. Our hearts go out to those who have lost loved ones throughout this Chase community and throughout other treasure adventures. And so with that, even though it's a sad note, with every door that closes, hopefully new ones open up for other things, you know? So even though there's downsides and waves, there's always upsides to waves too. So I hope that peace comes to those, justice to those that will get it. And with that, hearts and prayers. Y'all keep calm, treasure on. Thanks for stopping by. And oh yeah, if I didn't say hi, how you doing? And if I did say hi, how you doing? And if I forget to say hi, how you doing? If I did say hi, how you doing? Even though that's at the end instead of the beginning. But since I always say it like that, figured I might as well say it. So with that, you guys enjoy the rest of your evening or I guess morning, however you want to look at it. And yeah, we'll catch y'all on the flip side. Talking Tuesdays, yeah, it'll be another Tuesday or two before I get back on. But hopefully I'll have some stuff for show and tell. If not, I won't. One way or another, we'll figure something out, right? Anyway, thanks for participating to my digital diary to myself, guys and people and YouTubers. Oh, that's it.
All right.
Good night. Kiwi, push the button. Kiwi, you did something wrong. Good night, everyone.